Why aren't we live on YouTube? There we go.
Sweet.
What's up, y'all? What's up, boys and ladies? If there's any ladies watching.
Do us a favor and like and share.
All right. Another episode of Bass and Beer Radio coming at you.
I kind of like this box.
Bam.
Hit that intro.
All right. We're back for another episode of Friday Night Shenanigans. Tonight, we're just kicking it. It's me and Paul. Tony had
Chilling.
something going on. I don't remember what it was.
Work / something. I don't know. He was
Work,
busy.
something of the nature. Hang on. I'm trying to share this post to the groups.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. All right. Who said that? Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah. A little dazed and confused.
Mm-hmm. All right. Tonight, we're talking about things that, if you're not doing it, you're losing fish. And those things specifically that we're talking about right now are your hooks. Because if you're using shit hooks, you're losing fish, and that's just a fact.
And not only if you're not using a good quality hook, but if we're getting into the time of year where you might be throwing a crankbait all day. Like the bite's not going to change. You're just throwing, Joe talking about the 18 pounder that was caught in California.
Matt Downs, what's going on? I love how he just opened up with 18 pounds though, with like nothing behind it at all. You could have been talking about a brisket you're making for all I know. Like
so, yeah. So not only just using a quality hook, but when you're out there, you're throwing a trap all day, and especially around here, we're throwing a lot of trap and throwing it on rocks, a lot more than we're throwing it on grass, especially early in the year. It's important to change your treble hooks.
See,
they get dull. They have they got that hook, that one hook point that hangs down, and that hook point's going to get dull when when you're grinding that thing into the rocks. That hook's coming across the rocks, it's going to get dull. So it's really important to change your treble hooks throughout the day. Oh, I know everything, Joe.
Do you change yours throughout the day?
Oh yeah,
really?
100%. Yeah, if it gets dull,
I don't do that. I'll change them like seasonally, or if I bend one out.
Oh, if it gets dull, I will take it off immediately. Especially if it's a bottom, like if I'm grinding something into the bottom, whether it be a crankbait or a trap. What's up, Tyler?
What's up, Tyler? Thanks for joining, brother.
Whether it be a crankbait or like a trap, like I'm taking that treble hook off if it gets dull. Like I'll check it every now and then. Like every couple of fish. Or if I miss a fish, like that, if I miss a fish, that's the first thing I do is check the trap.
Normally not that anal about it. When there's a pattern that all of a sudden like fish are starting to come off, then it's like, okay, I gotta look at it. Most of the time it's not the sharpness that I lose, it's a hook point that's bent out or something like that. And that's like, all right, you gotta take the time to change it. I also don't have the right pliers in my boat to change them on the fly, so I try not to mess with it too much.
That's one of the reasons that I use the specific treble that I do, because typically, like you can use your fingernail to get one off, but trying to get one back on is a pain in the ass, right? So I use these. That's very
show and tell. What's up, Cal?
Get the number 2 so it's a little easier to see.
Hey, Cal.
So in the springtime, this is probably the most important box in my boat. And this is an entire box full of treble hooks. So what I'm going to show you...
This is a beefy treble hook, but what makes it so special?
Look at the eye of the hook.
It's large. I could almost fit something in there.
Look. So if you got to kind of hold it at the angle. See the bevel?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see it.
So give me one of them baits. Oh. Not one with a split ring.
With a split
ring?
Yeah,
any one of these is fine.
None of them have split rings.
Those do. Like, I'll just pop one of those treble hooks off real quick.
Oh.
And then I'll put it back on. Oh. You give me the rubber banded one.
Sorry.
It's all good. I'll pull your rubber band off.
I was totally looking at the line tie, not where the hooks go. That was really stupid.
You can pop your treble hook off. These are beefy treble hooks. I don't know if I can get this off without, like, destroying my finger right now.
Mike Buca uses the good stuff.
Yeah, he does. Okay, so that's not going to work. Does not work well with swim bait hooks. Oh, look at that beautiful, beautiful little thing.
The old KGB crappie.
See if I can deal with this. See if these are...
So this is so good because it's almost like you have like a shovel point on the end of the hook, so you can really kind of... I can get it in there in the split ring.
So look. So without pliers, you just hold your split ring up like that. These are the Gamakatsu Magic Eye trebles. They're called Magic Eye because you can just go like this. These fucking split rings are fucking serious, dude.
Yeah, well, they're swim baits. Let's try not to bury a hook in our finger at the beginning of the show.
Right.
Tommy, what's going on, Tommy? Thanks for joining, my man.
Just like that. You can pop them right
through. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
And you don't need split ring pliers. So it really makes it a lot faster.
You should keep split ring pliers.
I still use split ring pliers usually to take them off. But using these Magic Eye treble hooks, you don't need them to put on, especially on crankbait hooks. Like it's super easy on crankbait hooks. Like you can just pop it right in there.
Charles, what's up, Charles? Thanks for joining, man.
The other thing that I like about these that you'll see like on these big old beefy...
You can catch a freaking whale on those.
Is how the hook eye lines up. So notice that it's perpendicular with the hook eye, right?
Yes.
On this.
I see that.
That is in my leg. It lines up with it.
I see that.
It lines up with it. So when it's on that treble hook or on that split ring, there's no twist in it. It's straight up and down all the time. So it's not torquing your split ring at all to get that bottom hook to hang down. It's perfectly straight. That's the other reason that I love these.
That is like, it's one of the things where like I can completely agree, and I don't do it maybe as much as I should, but changing out your treble hooks
throughout the day, even
that's extreme to me.
Well,
but changing out your treble hooks or something like that. What's up, Jim?
If they get dull, that's the key. If they get dull, you don't need to. If they're still sticky sharp, you don't need to change them out. But
hooks are expensive.
If you notice. Those Gamakatsu.
Now, do you take those hooks that you take off? Do you hit them with a file and reuse them?
So I'll do both. Either if I'm going to hit them with a file, I'll leave them on the bait.
Let us know in the comments, guys. How often do you guys change your treble hooks, and or will you just touch them up with a file, like say on the bait? Tom, you should just come over.
Right.
You should just be here.
Yeah,
this should be live.
If I hit them with a file, I won't take them off. Like I won't change out the treble. Like I'll just touch them up with a file. Usually, I only do that if it's just like there's a little burr, like or something on it. Like I'll just knock it off with a file real quick. If it actually gets dull, like from grinding into rocks, and you get that like rounded point, I'll just change it out.
Gotcha.
I have a good story about changing and why you should change these out. So, I lost the TBF National Championship on Lake Sam Rayburn, potentially, most likely.
Josh says I change my treble hooks every new president, more or less.
So, I'm the night before the tournament. I'm rigging up. I know what my boater's fishing. Classic, red trap, right? Sam Rayburn. It's the thing, in the springtime. So I put my red trap on. I'm talking to my buddy Frank on the phone, and I touch a treble hook, and I go, I should probably change that. And then I'm like, no, it's still pretty taggy. Like, it's still pretty. It's good enough. Good enough.
What's going on, Zach?
I proceeded to lose like 20 pounds worth of fish the next day on that bait.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Immediately came back, got back to the room, changed both treble hooks on the bait, didn't lose another fish on it the second day of the tournament. I lost 3 over 4.
I don't find that I have...
For sure.
I find that I don't have a lot of hookup problems. I find that a lot of the times when I'm losing the fish, it's more my fault than like a dull hook.
Yeah. I mean, of course.
That being said, I also don't
fish
fish like 4 or 5 days a week like you.
Right.
So it's a little bit different there.
I mean, I'm pretty confident. Like, if I have a fish bite a crankbait, generally I'm landing the fish. Generally.
I like this. We really got to fix Scuba Steve's YouTube so he can just comment. He says I don't change them during the day and I'm whacking fish. I'll just grab another of the same lure with fresh hooks on it.
It's the same concept.
Keep doing the same thing. Then he'll go home and he'll change his hooks out.
Same concept.
He says, but Paul's right. If you're on a good bite, change them right on the boat. It's easy.
Yeah. I mean, especially, like I said, with these Magic Eye trebles that I use, they're by far my favorite trebles because I can change out both trebles on a crankbait in 30 seconds. It pretty much as fast as you can get it off, you can put one on. The other thing that you can do if you don't use those, if you like the triple grip style, the EWG style treble, is as soon as you start that one off, put the other one on and just follow it through. And you can change treble hooks no matter what you're doing. On a crankbait, 30 seconds.
That is crazy to me. I feel like it takes so much more time to do it. Maybe it's because I'm also so slow at doing shit on the boat.
There's a video on John Cruz's Facebook.
John Cruz is a good dude.
Of him getting the box out of the compartment underneath of his seat, pulling 2 trebles out and changing them on a bait in like 15 seconds.
I want to see this video.
It's insane how quick he does it.
Jim says, run the hook point at an angle on your fingernail. If it grabs, it's good. If it slides smooth, it's daw.
That's a good that's a good tip.
I've heard that one before too.
So you can
Josh says, let's talk about the trebles with backwards barbs. I got a few Vision 110s and that threw me for a loop. Well, first things first. The Vision 110 hooks are like, yes, they're sticky. God, they're brittle. They're garbage. I would change them.
I changed them immediately. So what Jim was saying, like, if you take your fingernail, take your thumbnail like this, take a treble hook, any hook, really, even worm hook or treble hook, anything, and just apply a little bit of pressure. And if you see how that's sliding, I don't know if you can really see that on the video. Let me get a little closer here.
I was trying to zoom it in.
This is a giant, not so sharp treble. So you'll see that it's sliding off the end of my finger. That hook is not sharp.
Isn't that a new hook?
No. No, those are hooks that I've replaced off my 8XDs.
I was going to say, how do you know which ones you've replaced and which ones you haven't?
Those, where they're at. meticulously organized.
I'd like use a Sharpie and like mark it. These are crap.
Okay, so a sharp hook, if you take it on your fingernail and you try to do that same thing, it grabs. Like, I cannot drag that across my fingernail. So that's a good tip, Jim.
Even more important in the wintertime.
Yes, very important.
Very important in the wintertime. Summertime, they have a much softer mouth.
All times
much easier for it, but in the wintertime, when they have that harder mouth, you definitely got to have the stickies on there.
If a fish comes up and slaps at it and stuff like that, like, you just want to have short trebles.
So we might have talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but what is your favorite brand of hook to run? In case anybody knows, because there's obviously so many different hook brands out there, and some are better than others. Some are stronger, some have more flex, some are sharper, some are more dull, some rust easier, some don't rust at all.
Gamakatsu.
Yeah.
I pretty much only fish Gamakatsu. I have there's a couple of hooks that I really like from other manufacturers. So if I'm doing a Texas rig drop shot, I will use an owner cover shot hook. It is the best hook for that. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, bar none, best hook for Texas rigging a drop shot. Like if you're Texas rigging a robo worm on a drop shot, that's the absolute best.
I'm thinking of the Jungle Hook. That's their heavy duty flipping.
That's their flipping hook. Right. I use Gamakatsu flipping hooks. I use Gamakatsu worm hooks. I use Gamakatsu treble hooks. I pretty much use absolutely everything Gamakatsu. I will use some owners for, like I said, I use the owner cover shot, and the owner shaky heads are pretty good too. I use them quite a bit.
Josh says he has been using the Berkeley Fusion 19s.
So Berkeley Fusion makes a good. They actually make a pretty good hook. They are nano coated. They're really sharp. I've used some Fusion hooks. They're not bad. I just like my Gamis.
Joe, is the triple grip specifically an owner hook?
So yes. So the triple grip. Well, yes and no. So the triple grip brand name is an owner hook. It comes in two versions. It comes in a triple grip, which is the same hook that you see on like rattle traps.
Yep.
Not that great. Now the Ultra Point triple grip, the KVD Ultra Point triple grip is a good hook if you like that EWG style. Which, if you look at I usually fish a round bend, but
I like the EWGs for wintertime.
That's an EWG treble. You'll see that it's got a little different shape to it. I rarely fish an EWG hook. These are in my box because I got them stupid cheap.
You like the round hooks.
I fish a round bend 99% of the time.
Right.
Especially in the wintertime. Because you get a better hookup with a round bend than you do with a EWG. And that better hookup, that's a Gami EWG. Mm-hmm. So same deal. You get a better hookup with a round bend. And in the wintertime, a lot of times they're just nipping at the bait. So theoretically, they say that you will have a higher landing percentage with an EWG treble hook, but you get a better hookup with a round bend. I am confident enough in my ability to land a fish on a crankbait knowing that I'm using the proper rod, proper line, everything, that I'm just going to fish a round bend because I would rather get a couple of extra hookups over the course of a few days or week. It might be 2 or 3 in a week. I'd rather have the extra hookups because I'm generally going to put those fish in the boat as well versus missing a couple of fish and having a higher landing percentage on the ones I do hook. I don't lose that many fish on crankbait. I fish round bends all the time. If you have the proper setup, you shouldn't be losing fish. Yes, Jim, the owner KVD ultra wide gap. Good. Like I said, if you have confidence in that it goes back to what we've said many, many times. If that's what you have confidence in, fish it.
Buddy, hook set.
I like my round bend Gamakatsus. Now, if we're talking about jerk baits, which is also a big thing in the spring, and I know Josh had mentioned that. Josh, get rid of those stupid Albarb hooks.
Hook set, baby.
And get yourself some of these. So this is the absolute best replacement for a stock Megabass jerkbait 110 hook.
What is it?
That is a Gamakatsu G Finesse.
Yep.
Treble hook.
I do like the G Finesse line from Gamakatsu.
In a number 5. So that G Finesse hook is the absolute best replacement for the stock Megabass hooks.
Al, thanks for liking the show, buddy. Thanks for joining.
It's
Jim says he buys
short.
bulk hooks. Now, what kind of hooks are you running, Jim? For the most part, I'm running.
He just set up there.
Okay, Dave, I'm sorry. I'm running owners. I'm running Gamakatsu, and I will run like a Hayabusa, like a JDM, like a Hayabusa hook. For the most part, that's really all you're going to find me using. I really don't stray from those brands.
Which brands besides Hayabusa?
Owner and Gamakatsu. And Gamakatsu was my number one choice, always.
Yeah. I mean, Owner makes good hooks. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't have anything against Owner.
All my shaky heads are Owner. Every one of them.
But if you open my crankbait box, any one of my crankbait boxes, there's Gamakatsu hooks on every single crankbait.
Yeah, I don't blame you whatsoever.
I probably have thousands of dollars in Treble hooks that are in there.
Yeah.
One of the reasons that I like Spro crankbaits, they come with Gamakatsu hooks. I don't have to change the hooks out. It's very
That
nice.
is really, really nice. Seems like a lot of these little glide baits I have up here have some gummies on them.
Nah, so these those are Owners.
Which ones?
The Bull Shed. Those are Owners.
What are they, triple grips?
These on the KGB. That's not a Gamakatsu. I don't know what that is.
Could be BKK.
Oh, it could be an Owner ST36.
That would make sense too.
Yeah. The ST36 is their round bend triple hook. It's very, very good bait. Yeah, BKK makes great hooks. That's the nice thing about this day and age in bass fishing is we have so many choices that are quality. Used to be back in the day, like when I first started bass fishing, like there weren't a lot of good hooks out there. Like there were, it was pretty stingy as far as like a good quality hook. But now, I mean, you have Owner, you got BKK, you have Hayabusa, Gamakatsu, Ryugi. Like there's probably 10 hook brands out there that make really high quality hooks.
Jason, what's good, my man?
Joe's been on a BKK kick the past couple of years. Yeah, especially in assault.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. BKK
Viper.
Viper, so yeah. Mm-hmm. So pretty nasty hook.
Who was I talking to?
Jim switches split rings to tungsten flat split rings. Tungsten split rings? I've never seen tungsten split rings.
Tungsten split rings. Interesting.
I
will definitely weight the bait.
I run it. So split rings, I run Owner hyper wires if I'm replacing split rings. But generally, I don't really care that much about the split rings. Split rings are split rings, in my opinion. Unless you're like Jim, catching like 12 pounders on a regular basis, and you're worried about your split rings.
Yeah, that's when it would make more sense.
Bending out, or striper fishing or something like that.
Z-Back, what's up, Z-Back? Glad to see you back on the show, man. It's been a while.
But yeah, you always want to match your, match your hardware on your bait to what you're fishing. If you're fishing a glide bait in heavy grass, like I know Jim does, fishes around a lot of hydrilla down there. You want to have a high quality, strong split ring, because if you got to pull a bass through, with a treble hook through hydrilla, like you're going to be wrenching on it. So,
yeah.
You have a high probability of bending that split ring out. So you want the strongest split ring.
When you're throwing baits that are treble, your typical treble hook baits, your jerk baits, your crank baits, your top water walking baits, things of that nature, your hook choice is crucial. Hook choice is crucial. I can definitely say, and the reason why anybody that says, "Oh, I bought this mega bass bait and the hooks on it are so sticky," I've lost so many fish on mega bass baits because I did not change out the stock hooks from mega bass because they just
stock hooks on mega bass usually last me 2 fish.
And a lot of times too, like they'll either bend out and they'll break, or when I'm trying to rip them out with a pair of pliers, it breaks.
Or you net a fish and it flops around the net and breaks
exactly.
Them. Or bends it to a kingdom come.
They're very, very brittle hooks. Very, very brittle hooks. I definitely think going to a Gamakatsu or an owner hook or a Hayabusa. I have lots of Hayabusa hooks.
I don't know of a good owner hook to replace on a Vision 110. The only 2 that I've found that don't affect the bait are the Gamakatsu G Finesse and the VMC Redline. That's the only 2 that are light enough that they're as light as those.
And when you say change the bait, do you mean the action or like
the action and the sink rate?
They're weighted more so they sink rate.
Yeah, the action and the sink rate. So they'll change the action if your hooks aren't necessarily right. If they're a little heavy, not only will it change the action, but it'll also cause it to sink. Which, if that's what you're going for, then go for it. We could talk about modifying jerk baits all night, but if you just want that stock action, the VMC Redline in a number 6. Or the VMC Redline in a number 6, or the Gamakatsu G Finesse in a number 5. Probably I lean toward the Gamakatsu a little bit more in a 5 because it's a slightly bigger hook, but just slightly, so you get a little more hook gap. And I always like upsizing my trebles a little bit, so it's a hair, just a teensy little hair bigger than the stock hooks. Which I like because, better hookups.
Now, for out there for a lot of people, including myself, I understand hook sizes to a degree, but there's certain things that I also don't get, especially when we're talking about, we have number 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, and then you have a 1-aught and
2-aught, 3-aught, 4-aught, 5-aught, right?
Why? And what is that?
So, bigger the number, smaller the hook. So you can go all the way up into, and this goes for anything, whether it's a single hook or a treble hook. In single, you can get into if you get into fly fishing, you can go all the way to like a 28. I've actually seen 32s. That's the smallest hook I've ever seen. And you literally need a low powered magnifying glass to tie a fly on it. I mean, it's like the hook is like this big. It's insane. It's almost microscopic. And then you can go all the way into 10, 12, 14-aught on the other end. So the lower you get in the number, the bigger the hook gets. When you get below 0, it goes, you'll see 1-aught, 1 over 0, 2 over 0. That's below a 0 size hook. Typically, bass fishing, you're going to stick between 2-aught and 6. Sometimes on some smaller baits, you may see an 8, but typically bass fishing, you're only gonna, as small as you're gonna go is like a 6 on a treble hook. Mm-hmm. The biggest you're gonna go. Now, you guys, go pretty big on the glide baits. You get on some of the bigger glide baits, you probably have some.
Yeah, 1s on there.
There's probably some 2-aughts. On some of the bigger glide baits.
Because if you're looking at like a 10, 12-inch glide bait.
Yeah, if you're looking at like a Hinkle trout or something I think a Hinkle trout has like 2-aught trebles on it.
God, what a gaff.
Some of your flutter spoons, I know guys that run 4-aught treble hooks on them. When you're talking like the 10-inch like Ben Parker mag spoons, they'll run 3-aught, 4-aught treble hooks on those. But typically, like a 2-aught, to give you an idea for a bait that a lot of people kind of know the size of, a Strike King 10XD crankbait has a 2-aught hook on it.
Are you using that for a weight modification, Jim? Sorry, Paul.
Yeah, see, Jim uses 3-aught. I figured some of the bigger baits, when you get into those bigger ones, that you'll get. I'm not really my forte. Like I'm not super big into that scene. I do throw some glide baits, but not hip to what size hooks are on a lot of baits. 1/0 plug goes small to big, 1/0 up goes smaller. Yeah, I just think of 1/0 like when you get to like 1/0 and bigger, I think of the numbers as negatives. So it's like -1, -2, -3. It's probably why they named them 1/0, 2/0, 3/0 because people would think negative, like a negative hook size would be stupid. Larger hookup ratio, that's on an 8-inch or larger. Either it's a 3/0 treble hook. Yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I throw 2/0 treble hook on a 10XD. 10XD is a heck of a lot smaller than that.
That's a big crankbait.
Saltwater plugs, yeah. I'm sure you use some pretty big hooks there. No, Joe, I have not been fishing, and it makes me sad.
Haven't been fishing. Was thinking about going out this weekend, possibly going up to Wingo this weekend.
Go tomorrow. It's supposed to be shitty Sunday.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I was gonna go tomorrow, but
my boat is not put together at the moment. There's so much shit that I have. I have
nothing in my boat right now, so I would have to get that ready, and I really just don't feel like it. And I have shit to do tomorrow.
It's kind of where I'm at right now, but I'll have to talk to the old.
And I want to make sure that.
I was supposed to fish with Tony, but I don't know if Tony is even going to be available. So.
I'm not sure if all the icebergs are gone.
There's still some ice out there.
I want to make sure the icebergs are gone before I go running across. I just had $8,000 worth of fiberglass work done to the bottom of my boat. And I just jack that up again.
I totally agree, Jim. Believe me, I definitely made mention of it a few times. It wasn't in the cards when I was down there in Florida. I definitely wish I could have. I don't think we were far. We were probably 45 minutes, maybe an hour away. I can't imagine we were super far apart.
I would have got up at 5 in the morning and just called an Uber and just been, just MIA.
She wakes up. It's the day of the wedding. I'm just gone.
You pull up to the wedding venue, you're throwing on a tux.
Yeah, better to ask for forgiveness than permission. That's not how that would work on this one.
Flat still got chunks of ice.
Be castrated.
So the flats still have chunks of ice as of Thursday. Yeah, see. Yeah, shut up, Tom. We know better.
Yeah.
We don't believe anything you say ever.
Tom, we are Snapchat buddies, so I'm just saying. Excuse you.
Right? Yeah, but doesn't look like I'm going to get out this weekend. Maybe next weekend, hopefully. Weather holds up. As long as it's decent, I'll go out.
Zebek says he's out fishing now. What are you fishing for, Zebek? You fishing for tuna in the Susquehanna?
Probably up in Jersey fishing for stripers.
Yeah, I thought about it. Gonna wait until sunup. Is it that time of the year already? I guess it probably is getting close to that time of the year. The freaking
they're on the coast.
Them big old cows are swimming.
Yeah, they catch them all winter on the coast.
So, but anyways, that was kind of our tidbit on.
Yeah, just make sure you have trebles in your boat, so that you can change.
Yeah, Mr. Ken.
I know, like Scuba Steve said, well, I just put on another bait, but if that's the last one you got, and you got raw treble, dogged out trebles on it, you don't want to be, digging in your box to find a bait that has the same size treble hook so you can take them off and put them on that bait. Just pull your box out, know what sizes you have, throw them on there.
Well, yeah, that's the tidbit. Definitely important. Make sure you upgrade your hooks, especially if you're running baits that have less than fantastic hooks on it. And if I could ask one more question, what would be a brand and or a bait minus Megabass that comes with hooks that are less than fantastic?
Less than fantastic?
Yeah, like
Strike King.
If I buy these, I'm getting rid of the hooks right away before I even throw it.
Strike King and Bill Lewis rattle traps.
Okay, we did. We talked about that the other week. Yeah.
They use the lower quality triple grip hook, and it sucks.
Is it a triple grip or is it an eagle?
It's a triple grip. It's an owner triple grip.
Okay.
It is an owner, but it's not the needle point. So there's two versions of it. You have the owner triple grip, and then you have the KVD needle point triple grip. KVD, very, very good. Regular owner triple grip kind of sucks. I mean, it'll work in a pinch, but now Rapala runs. They're all VMC trebles. VMC actually, like, as much as I hate like their worm hooks, VMC makes really good. They make a really good treble. They're just they are pretty light wire.
I really feel as though the VMC is that emergency hook that I go get if I don't have the hooks that I want, and there's a Dick's Sporting Goods right down the street. But I don't think VMC hooks are bad hooks. I think they rust to shit very, very quickly, and I just would rather not even bother with them.
But their treble hooks don't. Their worm hooks absolutely do. Those things are garbage. Like I'm with you.
Any of their soft plastic hooks are terrible.
But like, I mean, I've got Rapalas that I've had treble hooks on for years. They're
What's up, Vic?
You know, no issues. Vic, how's that new boat treating you? Vic bought Mike Duarte's old boat.
What did Mike Duarte get?
He hasn't had a boat in a while.
He doesn't have a boat?
Yeah. Mike hasn't had a boat in a couple of years.
Nah.
Yeah. He sold that boat in 2024.
Right on. All right, so Vic's and Mike's old Ranger.
He didn't have a boat all last year. He borrowed that old Ranger to fish the open on the bay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, and Vic just bought it.
Good for them. I mean, good for you, Vic. Good stuff. Yeah, I did. I wasn't aware that Mike wasn't in a boat right now.
Mm-hmm. He didn't have a boat all last year.
No. He seems like he's pretty serious with that girl, so he's probably, priorities are elsewhere.
I think he sold it before they like really got together.
Okay.
I think he was planning on buying another boat, like buying a new boat, but then, like, just fished. I mean, he fishes a lot of tournaments with John Benor, so it's not like he really needs a boat, right?
Right.
So, I don't know. Have to ask Mike.
Yeah, would have to shoot him a message. Haven't seen Mike.
Like Chad Pewitt.
Shut up, Jim.
Vic, be careful up there. There's still some ice. There's still some ice floating around up there. So just be careful. I know you're probably going yellow perch fishing.
Like,
Scuba Skeeve texts you more than your girlfriend.
Yes. Yes. Me and him pretty much text. Not all day, every day, but pretty close to it.
It happens.
But, yeah.
So, treble hooks. Keep them in your boat. Get yourself a box full of them. Spend the money.
Get a good set of split ring pliers.
They last. If they're in a box, you keep them in a good waterproof box. They're gonna last. They're not gonna rust if you get a good quality hook. So keep them in there. Even like, so we were talking about those mega bass hooks.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a section in here that is all mega bass hooks, because if I break one of those mega bass hooks, for most baits, I'll fish the stock hooks until I need to change one of them, and then I'll swap them out. So I'll fish a mega bass jerkbait with the stock hooks until I break one, and then I'll replace all three of them. So I'll take, if I break one of the hooks and two of the hooks are good and they didn't get bent, like, I just take them off, and guess what? I save them in here. Then the next time I break a hook on a mega bass, it's a lot quicker I can just change that hook. Because I am really weird about all three of my trebles have to be the same. Like, if I have I can't put like a Gamakatsu on the front and then have two mega bass on the back too. That bugs the hell out of me. So I will swap all of them. Secondly, you asked earlier about the baits. Strike King is the only bait that I fish that I will immediately swap out the treble hooks. Like, I will not fish them without changing the hooks because they're garbage. Boats hurt your wallet, bitches break your soul. Said some man I met
at the bar.
He's not right.
He's a wise old man.
That's not wrong.
Wise old man.
So, what's going on in the fishing news world? Well,
oh God, you mean the dual threat?
So, this is the wildest thing I've ever seen.
Here we go.
So, if anybody has been, paying attention to the tournament world, there was a new tournament series this year. It was a team tournament series called Dual Threat Fishing. This shit, I mean, the most crazy shit that I've ever heard. They started out with an entry fee. They get to the first tournament. They go, oh, we got an investor. There's going to be no entry fees. Some people had already paid entry fees. Apparently, from what I've heard, some of them paid up to $30,000 in entry fees. Paid all of their entry fees up front. So they say, we got an investor. We're not gonna have entry fees. We're gonna refund you. We write you a check. Okay. So they go on. They have a tournament, no entry fees. Matt Messer wins $100,000. Gets a check. All the other guys that get a check, they say, hey, we cut your checks. We have to file W-9s. We got to make we have to make this legit. We got to file W-9s before before you can cash your checks. Well, all right. So they have a tournament the following week. Fisher and Aya wins $100,000. This dual threat fishing. Some other stuff goes on with checks. They don't get a check at all. He like hymns and hauls about these checks, and like there's a hold on them because of the W-9 stuff, and some people got disqualified.
The guy left a nice little breadcrumb
so they
trail.
They got to rewrite them, and all the checks bounce, and this dude disappears, like he is gone. And essentially, what he did is those few people who paid all their entry fees up front, a couple teams, probably about $100,000 is what he got away with. He took $100,000 and just ran. Like, he's off. He was using a fake name the entire time. Fake name the entire time. Complete freaking scam. This is like one of the biggest, like...
It's probably the biggest scam in bass fishing ever in history.
Outside of like Tony Christian. It's probably the biggest.
Or Mike Long.
It's probably the biggest. Yeah. As far as money goes, probably it's dual threat and Tony Christian. Tony Christian, big time cheater. He was the guy that had fish boxed and was flipping a jig into a Tupperware container to catch bass. But yeah, this shit is wild because these guys are never going to see this money. Like, and that's the shitty part about it is, like, they were taking a chance on this, and his TED Talk, the real way, how to make money in bass fishing. Yeah, right?
I can't even believe that
real way to make money in bass fishing. Just scam everyone.
Was it? I thought he got away with like 1.5 million.
No, it was. There's about $2 million in tournament winnings that are owed to tournament anglers. He only got away with the money that was paid up front.
So this guy's going to go to jail over $100,000? That's ridiculous.
I mean, how people go to jail for robbing banks for a lot less than $100,000?
That's just wild.
Typical bank robber only gets 30, 40 grand, at the most. Scott Martin was proud to join to fish with Hillary. He was, and and that's kind of I know you don't like Scott Martin, but I feel bad for his daughter. Like his daughter took a year off of school to fish these tournaments.
Yeah,
to fish these tournaments with her dad. And like that now, like that kind of, that screwed her up because if they had known, she would have stayed in school, stuff like that. So she took a year off from school to fish these tournaments with her dad. That goes south. It's messed up. And some of the guys on that trail, if they find that dude, it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, Scott did come out and say that he had nothing to do with it. He was just
there was a couple.
He was just another angler, another guy. I will say, however, that I didn't find it not comical, but I did find it funny that Scott was involved. he was a fisherman in the series, but it was like, he's talking about things that were going on, and I was like, this is right up Scott Martin's tree.
It was kind of ironic when he started talking about integrity.
It was ironic. it was ironic. That's the correct word to use.
So they hosted the tournament at his marina, and he was happy enough to do that. His family was happy enough to do that. He supported it on his social media, broadcasted it out there, and did that for no financial gain. Matt Robertson did the same thing. A couple of other people talked about it big time, as far as being able to promote it on their social medias. A couple of big anglers, Kyle Patrick, Jacob Wheeler. I want to say, like, even said something, even though he wasn't fishing it. Like he had said something about it at one point, and and like this guy just like this guy's just tricked. He just tricked everyone. And there were some warning signs, and Scott Martin actually explained that out.
He went through everything in his video talking about it.
When they got to the first tournament.
That's where I was saying that he just left this breadcrumb trail that was just enough to make it believable.
Right. Until you got to the tournament, and then you realize this guy has no idea how to run a tournament. Mm-hmm. He's got no merchandise. You would think, you're starting this tournament trail. What has some hats and some T-shirts, some stuff that you can sell to make some money. That Kyle Patrick is one of my favorite fishermen in the world, because he is so strange. He is wild and hilarious, and I love it. I'm here for it. But yeah, like this is, it's such a wild story. Go check it out. There's a couple of people that have talked about it. Slick Johnson has
Slick Johnson's in everything.
He's being close to some people who are involved in the tournament. Like, he's got some angler views on it. Him and Fisher and his dad are real mm-hmm. good friends. So, Fisher fishing, like he knows Fisher. And knows some other people in that fished the tournament. So
the money is coming from social media profits.
Yeah, that's what he said. Right. Oh yeah, it's gonna come from social media. Yeah. I pretty much feel like after the first tournament, everybody knew it was a scam, and that's, if you watch Matt Robertson's live videos, you can tell that he knows that, like, we ain't getting no money. As he's trying to beat a pelican with a net.
The most wild, like, bass fisherman of all time.
Did
Matt
you see
Robertson.
that? This pelican was, like, hanging out by their boat and trying to take their fish as they were reeling them in, and they're, like, trying to like shove it away with a fucking net. It was hilarious.
That would only be something to happen to Matt Robertson. Who is he fishing with?
His buddy Wendell. It was his old partner.
I hear you. Yeah, Wendell.
That was like his old tournament partner before he. I think that was his tournament partner when he made the classic the first time through the team championship.
Yeah, exactly. Freaking.
Yeah, Scott Martin. That was, like, I still feel bad. Like, you got scammed.
Yeah.
Talking, again, when
he was just trying to do something fun with his daughter and have, like, a nice experience with his daughter, but
when you start talking about having integrity and stuff like that, and knowing the stuff that you've done, like, it does
allegedly
it does come off a little strange. Outside of that, we've had 2 Elite Series tournaments. What, Hank Cherry winning on a 4-inch grub.
I bet you that'll bring the grub bite back. Not that the grub ever stopped. That's the thing with, like, these with baits that so many people get hung up on, and, like, I'm all about moving with, like, what's popular and, like, what seems to be, like, this new cool thing and whatnot. But, like, dude, the grub never stopped catching fish. People just stopped throwing it.
Oh yeah, it's like spinnerbaits. Spinnerbaits,
exactly.
For a long time, nobody threw a spinnerbait. Everybody threw a chatterbait.
I bet you grub sales are up 400%.
Oh, through the roof.
Through the fucking roof right now.
Here's the crazy part about it. People are going to buy this grub, and they're going to go out, and they're going to go wine in their grub, and they're not going to catch fish. And
did he ever release specifically what grub he was throwing?
a homemade grub, and he is working with Bass Mooch to replicate that exact grub.
Okay.
So that it will be released under the Bass Mooch brand.
I really don't find it to be that important that it be that exact brand that exact plastic. But
that being said, he can say it was a hand-poured grub. I'm 99% sure it was a 4-inch Kalen's grub. Just saying. Look at the pictures.
Right.
But again, they're gonna go buy these, and this is the funny part about fishing, right? Is he wins a tournament on this bait. Everybody's gonna go buy this bait. And 10% of the people that buy them are going to figure out how to fish that bite. It was very specific what he was doing.
Not even.
He was maybe 10%.
Not even.
10 people out of 100 might figure out how to catch fish on him. The way he was.
What are they going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not even going to be fishing the same body of water that he is fishing or anything. Like,
that's not specific to that area. That is something that they've used in North Carolina for years in the wintertime. That's why he knew how that would work.
Dustin,
because it was what they used to do.
We haven't stopped throwing spinnerbaits. Oh, however, I do like throwing a chatterbait.
I did.
And I have it written down here that when I see you at the boat ramp, we owe you a handful of soft plastics from Bass Munitions.
That's true. Actually, Dustin, you're there every year. I will bring them to the fishing flea market on the 7th.
Perfect.
You can pick them up from me.
There's a giant bag of them right there.
Those are all for Dustin.
Not all of them.
Well, just give me tonight what he's getting, just in case I don't make it. No,
you can take that bag and then he can pick whatever he wants out of that bag.
Oh, well, okay, whatever.
Perfect.
No, just like I'll have them. Just pick them up. I don't talk to kids. I don't like kids. Kids suck.
Well, Paul hasn't been to Epstein Island. And we're banned.
And it's gone. Never stop throwing a Terminator T1. I will because
those are sweet spinnerbaits.
Way too freaking expensive to buy.
Can't even find them anymore.
$30 a piece on eBay. I'm not paying $30.
There's nothing better than, I'm going to say it, the Megabass SV3 or the Megabass SV9.
You can throw that Megabass SV9. I absolutely demolished them this year on a Strike King spinnerbait.
I love the Megabass SV9.
To the tune of multiple 7-pounders. Multiple, probably 15, 20-pound bags, all on a Strike King. So you can have your Megabass. I hate War Eagles. I despise War Eagles. It does what it needs to do, but they rust like crazy, and that annoys me. And I don't like the hardware that's on them. The hardware just sucks. So, guys, other news in the fishing world. Fisher and I, we have another Elite Series. Fisher and I, a rookie, wins his second Elite event ever. Qualified this year. Second Elite event. Wins it on the
love the War Eagle, Josh. The War Eagle is definitely slept on. They rust, but the War Eagle is a sweet swimmer.
They catch fish.
They definitely catch fish.
I just hate that they rust so much.
I hate the hook keeper. And
the hook keeper sucks too.
The blades and the hook will rust its ass off.
To be fair,
the hook's not going to break.
I can't say much about the hook keeper because it's pretty much the same as the Strike King.
It's just like a big fat thing that you slide over. Like it's not. I don't like it. It's not good.
So, Fisher Anaya wins. Did you see what he won on?
No.
He was throwing the Quakey.
What was this last week?
Yeah. This past weekend.
The Quakey.
The Quakey.
What's the Quakey?
That is a JDM bait that looks like a sea urchin.
Ah, okay. The one that has the little balls. So it's like one of the little dice, but it has the little balls at the end of it.
It's not like no.
Well, we got to bring it up for everybody to see.
Oh, go ahead and pull it.
If I get this beer in this.
So it's the hide up Quakey. It looks like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So Chad's going to bring it up. We're going to take a look at it.
Check this out.
Because, these are pretty wild looking baits. Does that switch the thing too? Or does it just pull it up?
Boop.
Hey, there we go. Hide Up.
Hide Up?
All one word. HIDEUP. I don't know if they sell it on Tackle Warehouse. Yeah, they do. I don't know. So the Hide Up Quickie Full Cast.
Which one?
So 13 millimeter, 17 millimeter. So smaller one, a little bit bigger one, a little bit bigger one. So
this item is on back order.
Yeah, because Fisher and I just won $100,000 on this bait, catching spotted bass. Here's what I found interesting.
I just feel like you could have thrown a wacky in the same situation and caught the fish. Like it reacted.
A lot of guys were catching them on that.
So you're admitting that JDM baits are different.
I will say that. Well, I never said they weren't different. Like, I'm just saying that half of them are garbage.
It's the same thing as the fuzzy dice.
A little different though, because they're more like stiffer.
Right.
It's not just like skirt strands that are out there. They're actually molded. So it's a little stiffer. He was actually fishing there on a treble hook.
What?
He was using a single treble.
Did you just like push it through the middle?
No, he was burying one hook in the bait, and then so he had two. And he said it was because of the spotted bass. He said the treble hook he could hook the spotted bass better with a treble hook than using like a regular like Nico hook like they would usually use on those.
Yeah, I thought they were using like a wacky hook that they would just
pretty much like a Nico hook. But he was using a treble hook because he better hook up. Thought that was interesting.
That's a pretty sick color.
Here's the cool thing. I like that green pupper blue flake. It's probably my favorite one.
Yeah, it's
just nice and natural.
Mm-hmm.
He did something that I've never seen anybody do while fishing using live scope. He had two fish on his bait. The smaller one ate. He shook it off so the big one would eat it. Like the small fish came up, the big fish was still right there with it. He shook it off.
How do you shake it off a treble hook?
You just hold it until they let go of it. When you got that much, stuff there, it's not like they're grabbing a hold of it. So he shakes it off and catches a 3.5 pounder. I like using my live scope. I don't think I'll never be that good.
We have the Hide Up Quakey. We have G-Crack that has the dice.
OSP has the dice.
And then you have another round one, but it has like little balls at the ends of the tentacles.
That's probably the Yamamoto.
So, like, essentially, we have like 3 or 4 different types of the bait that is essentially the same thing with minute differences.
Well, you have G-Crack.
These all just came out last year.
So you have the OSP dice. You have the G-Crack Q-Bomb. Those are kind of the same.
Are any of you guys fishing these? Anybody in the comments? Have you picked up any of these dice baits, ball baits, sea urchin, whatever you want to call it? Are you guys throwing them? Anybody?
There's a ton of them now too. Who is it? Who makes the Sneaky Pete glide bait?
G-Rat.
G-Rat makes one of these now. Like,
really?
Yeah. Because Steve Kennedy was talking about it. Steve Kennedy had a bad tournament, and he pulled it out of his boat and was like, I had it right here the entire time. It's like I threw it in practice, but I didn't think that was going to be what won the tournament.
This bait.
The G-Rat version.
G-Rat version.
Yeah. Ike smashes them on the local mud puddles. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, especially those. I mean, those lakes get a lot of pressure up there.
I don't know why, but like I imagine it just looks like I feel like it looks like a falling clump of grass to them or something.
I think it's
like,
just
what does it mimic to them that they want to eat?
I think it's just something different. I don't think it's mimicking really anything.
It's almost like the Depths cover scat when it came out.
You don't
just like it almost looks like it's obviously not like like that shape or anything, but it almost just looks like a falling piece of goose poop or something, and they're just eating it.
I think it's just something that they haven't seen. It's it's moving through the water, it's falling, you're moving it away from them.
Is anybody weighting these?
You can Nico rig them, yeah.
Right.
Just throw a Nico weight in them if you want to weight them. He's run a Jika rig.
That is so wild looking, dude. Like, look at that.
Yeah.
It's literally eating a fucking sea urchin.
Yeah. Could be like Dustin said, could be bugs. Who knows? I think it's mostly just it's something different. Something that they haven't seen. They start a big glide bait. How many fish, despite there not being any bait in in a body of water that's 10 inches long, and
they've seen the profile a million times. It's just how it's moving.
But you just throw a 10-inch bait in there. They're not used to seeing 10-inch long minnows. Guess what? They're gonna come up and look at it and be like, "Huh, what the hell is that?"
Yeah.
Right. They're curious. You throw something at them that they haven't seen, and they get curious.
And it'll always be that way because you guys are too scared to throw those big.
Bass aren't biologists; they bite out of curiosity. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm getting at, Dustin.
Yeah.
They're just curious.
They use their mouths to feel and figure it out.
I don't know what that is, but I might be able to eat it. But it's interesting. I mean, I've thrown some dice baits. I haven't really had much success with them. I've got caught a couple fish, but
they don't have fingers. They don't have hands. The way they test things is by biting it with their mouth. Like a lot of people get caught on this aggressive eat bite. Dude, a lot of fish that you catch, a lot of times you're not catching them because they're trying to eat your bait. You're catching them because they're trying to feel your bait. They want to figure out what it is. It's a curiosity bite.
Yeah.
Happens a lot more than what people think.
Especially when they're fishing like soft plastics,
yes.
Like bottom baits and stuff like that. Yes. Yeah, that's funny. You reminded me of a Gerald Swindle quote from a seminar when he was talking about when to set the hook on a jig, and somebody asked him, "When do you set the hook on a jig?" And he's like, "When you feel it. They ain't got hands. They ain't got arms. They ain't got hands. They ain't got a catcher's mitt. If you feel something, blister him." It's one of my favorite Jared Swindle seminars.
Yeah. and he's right.
He ain't got arms. He ain't got hands. He ain't got a catcher's mitt. Blister him.
Yeah. I could have sworn to God that was Jared Swindle that was at the airport.
Yeah,
I saw, dude. I was coming home from Florida the other week, and I swore that Jared Swindle was leaning up against like one of the desks, like waiting at a terminal. And like I even like bumped Matt and like Caitlin. I was like, "Does this look like the professional angler over there?" And they're like, "Yeah, that definitely looks like the same guy."
It's funny when you texted us. I'm like, it could be because he didn't make the cut, and it wasn't like 2 minutes after that. Dave Mercer was like, "Oh yeah, Gerald Swindle's going to be joining us on live here in a couple minutes." I was like, "Oh, I guess it ain't Gerald Swindle."
Probably wasn't, but I swear it looked just. He didn't have a Toyota hat. He didn't have nothing like that on. He had like. It wasn't even.
Oh, it definitely wasn't. We know it wasn't.
It wasn't a Huck shirt, but it was like a fishing shirt with jeans and some normal like tennis shoes. And I was like, dude, I swear to God, that's Jared Swindle. Like,
so Hank Cherry blasted him on Gunnersville. Fisher and I caught him, low weights, but that's Lake Martin.
Mm-hmm.
The open on. I gotta pull up some weights here.
Is he not fishing the elites at all?
Who?
Swindle.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
So there is an open on Sam Rayburn right now, and let's take a look here. If to make the cut, it took 23 pounds a day. To make the top 10 cut took 23 pounds a day. The leader had 28-1 the first. It's at the top. Go to leaderboard. So we'll pull it up here for you so we can kind of take a look at these. So Pake South is leading. Makes sense. Texas guy. He's Texas kid, rookie on the Elite Series. Had 28-1 yesterday and 34-4 today. Jace Lindsay had 30-12 yesterday. Riley Harris had 36-15 yesterday.
Kobe Bryant.
Riley Harris had a 12 pounder yesterday or something, like 11 or 12 pounder.
Wow.
Yeah. It was
on the Harris chain?
No, they're on Sam Rayburn, Texas.
When are they going to the Harris chain? I thought I saw something about the Harris chain.
There was a tournament on. There was an MLF tournament on the Harris chain.
Maybe that's what it is.
That Drew Gill won. I think I was on the Harris chain.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty sure that was on the Harris chain. One on Alabama Reed.
The crazy thing is I don't recognize any of these names.
So Pig South is rookie on the Elite Series. Jace Lindsay has been fishing the opens for a couple of years. He's a hammer. Fisher Anaya just won we just talked about him. Just won. I don't know the other guys. Jack York. He's fished the opens for a while. Aaron Yodfield. Let's see who else we have in there. Dakota Ebear.
I know Dakota Ebear.
He's an Elite Series pro.
Yeah, where's all the hammers at that are supposed to be in
here? You're passing by some Sam Hangy. He's an Elite Series rookie. Alex Weatherall's he's a former Elite Series. Frank Scalish, that is, his dad was a former Elite Series.
It's like Tyler Williams and shit.
A lot of them didn't fish. It's in Texas. They just had
Chad Pipkins.
They weren't going back to back. Chad Pipkins, former Elite Series. Jeremy Lawler, former Elite Series. Salzman. Casey Scanlon, former Elite Series. Charlie Hartley, old dude. Super awesome dude. Talked to him at the open.
Oh, look, McKinney, straight 100.
That's Trevor McKinney.
Yep.
Not Trey. Mike McClellan, former Elite Series pro. Clark
Why would you
Green.
name your kids so close together?
They probably didn't think about that at the time. Probably not from the same family.
What?
They're probably not from the same family. There's multiple McKinneys.
Trevor and Trey McKinney, not from the same family?
I don't think so.
That's wild.
Yeah. Stephen Browning, former Elite Series, but we're pretty far down the list now.
Brett Height,
Rick Pierce. Rick Pierce is the owner of Basket.
Okay.
So he fishes the opens. Where did you see
Anthony Johnson?
I haven't seen Matt Pangrack yet. Well, Panger didn't do too well. Or unless I went by Kurt Dove, cool dude, local. He's local he's from Maryland or Delaware. I think he's from Delaware. Where's Matt Pangrack? Matt Pangrack's the host of BTL. He only had like 12 pounds the first day, so he's probably down. Unless he caught him good. Control F that stuff. That was just a curiosity. But yeah, they are the guys in the top are blasting them on Rayburn. I mean, giants.
Phoenix most big bass, 9 pounds, 9 ounces.
It was not. Yeah, that was 9.9 today. It was 10, or it was either almost 11 or almost 12 yesterday. The guy who had 36 pounds. Stupid weights down there. They're catching giants. And I love Sam Rayburn. I've fished for Sam Rayburn a few times. It's a freaking phenomenal, just awesome fishery. It is like 9 feet low right now though, which makes it pretty interesting. Because there's no grass. It's a big grass lake.
Right.
And that's what I've had success doing down there is fishing hydrola. Mm-hmm. And from what I understand, there's no hydrola now. It's all gone. Because the lake's 9 feet low. So all the hydrola, where the hydrola grew is out of water. So that's our little tournament recap here. Let's talk about the important issues. So, we had the largest.
I was gonna bring that up. I think it was it Dustin?
600 million gallons of sewage were dumped into the Potomac River.
Will the Potomac ever be safe to fish ever again? Will the Potomac be safe to fish ever again? From Dustin.
Well, yes. The answer is yes. It will be. It's going to take time. I don't know what the effects are going to be. I don't think anybody knows what the effects are going to be right now.
We are working on trying to find somebody to come on the show to talk to us about what the effects of this could be.
The ice, from what I understand, with the river being iced up, made it worse because there's no UV penetration. UV rays kills bacteria. With the ice, there's no UV penetration into the water, so nothing to help kill off that bacteria. What I'm worried about, I was talking with a friend of mine last night, is where it happened was north of DC. So that water flows, but it's going to hit a point where that tide swing is just going to hold it, is my worry. So,
right.
And that's just going to keep it slowly, that stuff slowly moving down and keep that upper end, up around from, so let's say like the Woodrow Wilson Bridge, the Bellhaven area.
Eventually it'll all break down and whatnot, but
it'll settle.
What are the effects going to be to the water, the nitrogen levels and such in the water?
And what's the bacterial levels? Because
yeah.
I'm more worried about if I get jammed with a fish, with a spine on a fin or something, am I going to get some kind of
First off, bacteria? I wouldn't be fishing down there at all here in the next recent.
So there's
future. Period. I would not be fishing down there.
The DNR, from what I've gathered, from one of my friends in Delaware, anyone who has permits there, DNR has scheduled a meeting to talk about it. So, maybe we'll have some more information when that happens. I'm going to try to get the information from a friend of mine who's tournament director for Delaware TBF. So if I find any information, I will let everybody know. I know a lot of people here fish clubs and stuff like that that go down there. Any information that I get, I'll let you guys know.
Yeah,
I'm looking at rescheduling the 2 tournaments that I'm tournament director for, our TBF tournament and my club tournament.
I mean, that's how serious this is. You can't even go down there and fish at this point in time.
And it's not a lot of it is that we don't know, and we're not going to know until they are able to to do water tests.
It seems like you could have such a saturation of this sewage in the water, like not only your lines, your reels, you're throwing water all over your hands.
Water in the live wells.
Water in the live wells, you're just the concentration of what could be considered septic or dookie water getting all over you at this point. Fishing down in the Potomac is alarming and scary, and not to mention whereabouts is the Potomac in comparison to up here? Is that above us? Is it below us? Is that shit gonna come downstream and eventually make it to the flats?
No. Potomac, it dumps into the south end of the bay.
Okay.
Let me blow this out for you a little bit here. Can you tell where the sewage spill is?
Really?
Yeah, that's from Google Earth.
Ooh.
Now, some of that's bare, but yeah, it's bad.
That's really bad.
But it's going to take. So from what I saw, our local news network, who has talked to DC Water and Sewer, DC, because it is their pipeline, and this pipeline was on federal land. So
I've heard mixed things about this.
Has said it's going to take about 6 weeks to repair the pipe, but then there's also 6 to 9 months of additional work to I'm assuming for cleanup, because it essentially dumped into a canal, and they have this canal dammed up.
It's Moore is not taking any accountability for it, but Trump is saying that it's Moore's fault. It's it's a weird thing right now.
So everybody's blaming each other. So the pipeline is controlled by it's a DC pipeline. They take care of it. That essentially is a conglomerate of Virginia, Maryland, and DC, because they all it runs through Maryland, but Virginia and DC, it's a Virginia and DC pipeline. But there's a committee, so they have their committee members and whatnot on So I look at it this way. Yes, we should, and I don't know what's going on. We only get snippets of what is actually going on. We don't, we never get the full story. We just get what they show on the news. But here's my thought process on it. Yes, the pipeline runs through Maryland. But if you have power lines running through your backyard and they fall down, are you responsible for them? No, BG&E is responsible for them. Mm-hmm. So, yes, I think more could have done and taken additional steps for the Potomac. But also, what are you going to do? Like this
why didn't they just like close a valve and shut it down or something?
Well, because it shuts down the sewer lines for an entire city. So what they did was they dammed up this canal that it was leaking into, and they're rerouting it back into the sewer. So they're essentially pumping it. They dammed this up. They're pumping it out of there and then pumping it back into it past the break.
God. It's literally the worst sewage spill that's happened in the history of ever. Anywhere.
In the United States.
In the United States.
In the United States, anyway.
It's not like India where there is no sewage.
There's nothing that you can do about it going into the Potomac. We can get, I'm pissed off. Am I pissed off about it? Yeah. But you can't clean it up.
What was your comment, Jim? Say it again. Clean it up.
You can't clean it up. It's not like, so there was that fuel spill that just happened on the James as well. Mm-hmm. It was jet fuel. It's diesel fuel. It floats. You can clean it up. Sewer water or sewage going into a system, there's no cleaning that up. There's nothing that you can do to clean that up. It just has to take its course. Like you can,
it's
you can
we
put
were talking
pressure
about oil and whatnot the other day,
right?
With the jet fuel spill that happened down in the James River.
Just like we had the diesel fuel spill in the Inner Harbor earlier this year. You can contain it. You can keep it from spreading. It's not like that's going to spread out into the entire bay because diesel fuel floats. You can use the float, you can put up the floating barriers that they use for fuel spills, like they do for oil spills. Boop, you put it out, it doesn't go any farther.
Yeah.
Sewage is different. It's just going to have to run its course. There's nothing that we can do about it now. That's the shitty part about it, no pun intended. Maybe a little bit. So that's the worst part about it is there is nothing that we can do about it. What's gone is gone. Can we make sure that they're not dumping more into it? Yes, absolutely. We should be doing that, and Maryland should be doing its due diligence to make sure that no more of that gets into the water. Mm-hmm. But what's already there is there. Now we need to hold them accountable for it. For sure, absolutely, I totally agree, and I don't like Wes Moore. I do not like him. I think he's a terrible governor.
Horrible.
But I also think that there's a needless amount of flack that's coming from other areas about this situation, which ultimately was out of their control. It's out of Maryland's control. This is not maintained by Maryland. It was not on Maryland property. It was on federal property. Where this break occurred, did it leak into Maryland? Absolutely. But again, back to my analogy. If an electric line falls into your yard, it's not your responsibility to clean it up. Mm-hmm. If your neighbor's tree falls into your yard, it's not your responsibility to clean it up. It's their responsibility. It's their tree. So, yes, we need to pressure them. Make sure that it's getting done. Make sure that no additional, damage is occurring. But the blame game that's going on is also equally pointless. Trump blaming more blaming Trump. Stop. Just stop. Let's hold the responsible parties accountable. and figure out how we can keep this from happening again, and how we can keep this current situation from getting potentially, worse and more sewage going into our water. That's all I really have to say about that. And we'll know more, and when I know more about as far as fishing goes down there, we'll let everybody know.
We will. We absolutely will.
Stop blaming each other and just work together and make it better. Fucking politicians.
Everybody get out there and pick the turds up out of the Potomac with your hands.
Or a net.
Make it better.
We could just get a seine net. Just put it between our boats.
I need Jim to fly up here, and I need him to scoop turds into his brand new Falcon.
We'll just haul them away. We'll just get a big seine net and hold it between our two boats and just drive down the river.
I wouldn't put my boat in that shit. My boat's a piece of shit.
Dude, fit right in. So yeah. I don't know. To Dustin's question, I don't know what's going to go on with the Potomac. I'm thinking about, we're about rescheduling our
try to get in contact with the Potomac River Keeper and see what we can find out.
Yeah, I mean, so just to get, I would like to. We're trying to find, like, the Potomac River Keeper or a biologist that we can get on the show to really talk about what are the repercussions of this, or what's going to happen to the Potomac. Mm-hmm. How is this going to affect the Potomac? What's it going to do? How long is it going to affect the Potomac? Is this going to be a few month thing, 90 days? Is it going to be a years long thing?
I can't imagine it's going to be a couple of months. I mean, you're going to see
the flow rate of the Potomac. So I looked this up just to kind of get an idea of how much water flows through the Potomac. So at DC, in the DC area, 1 billion gallons of water a day flows through the Potomac. Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I mean, so I would imagine that, it might not take that long to flush it out and not flush it out, but essentially dilute it, right?
Right.
Especially we got all this snow melt, right? I'm sure the river's high, which is going to spread it out more.
I know the bay,
but it's going to dilute it as well. And that's all we can really do is it's just going to be diluted and it's going to run its course. You can't fix it.
Is it going to kill fish?
That's what I want to know. What are the ecological impacts of this? What's it going to do to the grass? What's it going to do to the fish? What's it going to do to us?
we don't have those answers, but we're searching for them. And as soon as we find them, we're going to try to bring a guest on the show to inform everybody and let people know what science says.
I want to know what it's going to do to us. Is there a danger to us? Should we? Virginia's
not if we're above it.
Well, I mean, if we're fishing down there, like I have 2 tournaments scheduled. Yeah, one first week of April, one there.
I won't be fishing down there.
I'm gonna reach out to the members of the TBF and see.
You're gonna, like you said, what are you gonna stick yourself with one of those spines and get freaking hepatitis or something over that?
You and DMV have most informative shows. I want to say I really appreciate what you guys do. I watched DMV the other day about big swim baits up north, and it was great. You guys do the same, best info anywhere. You are the best fishing platform. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
We really appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
And that's all we try to do. That's why I started doing this. I'm sure that's why Chad had the same reason. Is we just, we want to help. We want to help people.
We're like-minded. We love talking about fishing. If we can teach people things, we want to teach people things. If we can talk about things that are happening in the environment, we'll talk about things that are happening in the environment. And my favorite part about this has been meeting so many people.
Yeah.
And just talking to different people. And Jim, honestly, we haven't met personally, but I feel like you're a really close friend.
Being able to talk to Jim and the guys from South Africa with Tomcat boats and talking to
shit, I can hit up Matt Herron at any time. Matt Herron will freaking talk to me.
What's his name?
What with
Danny Brower?
Danny Brower.
Wait,
Danny Brower. David Fritz.
David Fritz. We have a couple of guests lined up coming up.
We're very exciting guests.
Yeah, very exciting. Should have some good shows coming up with some really special guests. Some you may know, some maybe more locally known, but you may have seen them on some national stuff. Like,
definitely been on some big podcasts before.
Not just some big podcasts, but involved with some national level stuff.
Yeah,
for sure. Very popular fishing education platform. Have some have some there. Some former Elite Series pro that's coming up. We're not going to mention names. We're just going to add little teasers.
Yep. I think we gotta let Rob tell the names.
Oh, for sure.
We gotta let Rob tell the names.
We have a former Elite Series pro that's going to come on. We have another guy that's involved in the fishing industry, local guy, super cool guy. I've talked to him many times.
Absolute hammer
on the bay.
Absolute hammer.
So we'll have some good guests coming up. I'm gonna watch you guys in DMV. I never miss yours. Stay home. Oh, wait, just for your show? Hell yeah, Jim. Check out our friends at Susquehanna Fishing Tackle too. If you're looking for some more good information, those guys put on a pretty good show on Thursdays.
I haven't really had a chance to. I was going to talk to Paul and to Tony and to Rob, off the air a little bit, but I'll put it out here right now. We started Bassamere Radio while everybody's watching. We started Bassamere Radio about 4 years ago now. Yeah. And we did it pretty consistently for the first 2 years. And then me personally, I kind of burnt out a little bit on some of the fishing and doing some stuff with the podcast. We did it. We ran our shows and whatnot. But, we took some time off and whatnot. We weren't as consistent as we should have been. This year, 2026, I'm really trying to get back into it. I'm really trying to get back into being consistent again with...
It's too pretty for him.
I'm really trying to get back into being consistent again with Bassamere Radio. We're looking for that growth. We have 1,600 followers on Facebook, and I think we only have like 200 subscribers on YouTube. But I'm looking to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark on YouTube this year, and I would like to see 3,000 to 5,000 followers on Facebook this year.
That would be pretty cool.
We're going to attempt to bring you consistent shows this year, good information, fantastic guests as we always have. That's one of the things that baffles me. We've had fantastic guests. Like, we've had people come on this show that you really haven't seen on other podcasts, period. Yep. In the whole country.
First interview ever with
Mike Buca.
We had the first interview ever with
Avid Boats.
the guys from
Tomcat. They were the first interview ever on the entire internet. We've had some great interviews. We just have to...
We're going to have some more of those coming this year.
We are going to have some more of those coming this year. We're working towards that. But the middleman is... But from Friday to Friday, we need to be posting more consistent content throughout the week, and that is what our goal is, to try to grow and to be bigger and to give you and to bring you guys
absolutely
some more stuff.
Me and Chad were talking before the show about just some ideas for some short form content to get out there. So keep an eye out for that. We're gonna do a lot more live on the water.
Yep. Live fishing.
We're gonna do a lot of live on the water. I'm gonna try to get it set up. I got to work with it to see exactly how I can get it set up so that I can do like Q&A on the water. I would love to do that with you guys while I'm out fishing. Ask questions about what I'm doing that time of the year. I get the most, like, I love fishing tournaments. Don't get me wrong. I get the most out of helping you guys. Like, if I can help other people out and help people catch fish, I get fulfillment out of that. So if I'm out there practicing for a tournament or something, like, I'm gonna flip on the live and we'll do a little Q&A on the water. what am I doing? Why am I doing it in these conditions? How's the day going? Does it suck? Is it bad? Is it good? We're gonna do some more stuff with that.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing some more things this year. We're gonna try to be a more fulfilling page and a more fulfilling live stream for you guys. Staying as consistent as we can Fridays. Every once in a while, we gotta take a break, man. It's life. That's life. And obviously, that's totally fine. We're going to try to bring back some Tackle Talk Tuesdays here and there. We're going to try to go live on the water here and there. We're going to bring you guys some fantastic guests, as we always have. But we're going to try to fill that gap in between Fridays with some content for everybody to follow. And obviously, we need you guys' help as well to help us grow. Your likes, your shares, your subscribes, they all help us tremendously, and we appreciate everybody that's watched Bass and Beer Radio for the past 4 years. 2026 is Bass and Beer Radio's year, and we're going to do a lot of growing this year. That is our goal.
I'm going to try to live stream every Thursday nighter this year from my boat.
Yep.
As I'm fishing the tournament.
That'd be cool.
That's my goal.
That would be super cool.
I'm not giving anything away. If anybody knows, I fish the same spot every single Thursday nighter this year. And everybody drove by me every time while I was fishing it. So, not giving up any juice, but we'll see how Candace feels about it. She's on the back of the boat. She'll be fine.
Yeah. She can point the camera,
Maybe it'll keep me from yelling at her if she misses a fish with a net.
But anyways,
I get a little worked up.
Is there anything more you want to add to tonight's podcast?
Anytime, Matt. If you ever have any questions, you can give me a call. You've got my phone number. I fished with Matt. Matt's drawn me in a few tournaments. I've helped him out a couple of times, making sure that he got his fish and, telling him, explaining to him what I'm doing. We fished a tournament on the Nanticoke a few years ago, where I think it was the precursor to me blowing up my motor, but I had some, or no, I was just overheating. That was when I had to clean the heads out. But anyway, we pulled up.
We did that here
and showed them. Yeah, we did. I showed him exactly what I was doing on the front of the boat. Like, here's the bait that I'm throwing. Like, this is how I'm doing it. This is the color I throw. This is why I'm throwing this color. And helped him. Tried to help him out. He called us. He got a couple fish. To weigh in. Got some good points for the tournament, and that was that. Matt fished with me in another tournament too.
Jim, that would be so sick, man. That'd be super cool.
I can't remember where it was. It was definitely another tournament more recently that he fished with me, and I think he might have won. Co-anglers have a really good record out of the back of my boat. Like the 4 SQTs that I fished on Deep Creek, my co-anglers won 3 of them.
That's good stuff.
One was funny because I can't remember his name, but he was a local. He fishes Deep Creek all the time, and he was very excited, coming into it because he was a local in the tournament. Until I told him we were fishing 25 to 35 feet of water all day. And he's like you could just hear
from here to like there.
You could hear the excitement just come out of his voice. And he ended up winning. And at the end of the day, he told me, he's like, hey, he was like, you really taught me something new. He's like, nobody fishes like that out here. Mm-hmm. That's just not something that people do. And we were fishing. I couldn't get on a largemouth bite to save my life. We fished until the last hour and a half of the day, 2 hours of the day. We fished smallmouth in 25 to 35 feet of water. We caught him. He caught some nice fish. We went largemouth fishing for the last hour and a half, made a couple good calls, and he ended up winning the tournament. I had like 10 pounds, which was only good enough for like 6th place because Jedry had like 17 pounds or 16 pounds, and Ed Riley had like 17 pounds. Like they just blasted him, but got some good points and was able. Mr. Bass, yeah, that's right. So the Mr. Bass that I qualified for, it ultimately ended up qualifying for the national championship. Matt was with me on the Potomac, and I felt so bad for him because I was bed fishing, but we were in a grass bed, and at the moment I felt bad for him because I spent so much time on this. I had like a 4-pounder on a bed, and I spent so much time on this fish, and I'm like, man, I spent a lot of time. I kind of feel bad for him, and he'd be like, oh, I got one. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm just gonna sit here with the poles down some more. And he ended up he only weighed in 2 fish the second day, and he ended up missing qualifying for the state championship by like a quarter pound or something. And, if he landed anyone, he lost like 4 fish on the second day. He was throwing a wacky rig in the grass, and they would just get him in the grass and come off. And he lands any one of those fish, he makes the state championship. But we had a blast. Me and Matt have always had a good time fishing together. Anytime I think 2 or 3 times he's thrown me.
I broke the seal. Give me a second.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah.
But I always enjoy fishing with you, Matt. Heck yeah. So this Bassmaster channel on Roku is legit. I flip it on when I'm at work. I like all last week. Was it last week? Earlier this week when there's no fishing on. I just flipped it on. I was watching the Elite from last year at Lake Fork earlier this week. Yeah, it's pretty legit. Jim said, it's always great to learn from other anglers. Absolutely, that's what it's all about. I know a lot of guys that like to keep, they like to keep everything secret. They won't tell you, they won't tell you what you're doing. They won't tell you, what. Like I get not telling, where you're fishing. If you have like a specific spot. But if I Chad knows, I'll tell him anything. I'll tell him where, what. Maybe not tell him the specific spot, but if I'm fishing grass, I was like, I was fishing grass. This is what I was throwing. I was fishing wood. This is what I was throwing. Oh, I'm fishing reeds. This is what I'm throwing.
Try to give somebody else the confidence to go out there and.
I'll never. Honestly, I'll never tell you spots because it doesn't help you. Telling somebody spots doesn't help me because you have to know why the fish are there. But. Yeah, that's right. You did get a boat, didn't you, Matt? Heck yeah. Matt got a boat. Vic got a boat. Heck yeah. I like
Everybody's freaking rolling this year.
Yeah, what I was saying, it doesn't help you if I just tell you, hey, I went to this spot and I threw this bait. Because you're just going to go to that spot and throw that bait, and then you're not going to catch fish, and you'll be like, oh, this doesn't work.
Because there's a reason.
Hey, I was fishing grass. This is why I was fishing grass. This is what to look for. You got to go out and find it. Well, that's going to make you go out and look for that stuff, and you're going to learn from that. You're not going to learn from me giving you a waypoint and going someplace. It takes even a very, very good angler, like a very good angler, will have a hard time learning off of somebody else's dots. So, being able to give you the information, you got to grind it out. I'll tell you what to look for. I'll tell you what the bait was doing. I'll tell you what the fish were doing. I'll tell you how I was fishing. But you got to go out. You got to go out and put in the time and put that all together and figure out, okay, this is kind of that spot that they were talking about. In these conditions, the bait should have been moved up on this. This is just like what Paul was telling me about.
Often duplicated, never replicated.
And that's how you're going to learn, is by taking those bits and pieces and applying it to what's in front of you, not a dot that I gave you. That doesn't help you at all, because you're just going to run those dots all the time, and you're never going to become a better fisherman. But if you can figure out, okay, they have these conditions. This is similar to what he was talking about, or this is similar to something that I fished before, and I had success. That's when you're going to start to be a better angler. Mm-hmm. You got to be able to put those pieces together and know why those fish are there. The wind's blowing this way. The bait's doing this. There's this kind of bait in here. They're feeding on this. It's all the pieces of the puzzle that you have to put together to be able to be successful and catch fish.
There's so much more that goes into being a successful bass fisherman that a lot of people, they don't pay attention to.
Unless you're Dustin. Then you just pull up on any spot in the grass and throw a spinnerbait and catch 20 pounds.
Dustin's been fishing for a long time now. But I will say, your tide, your wind direction, the type of grass that you're fishing, the depth of water that you're fishing, the cover that you're fishing. There is so many variables to fishing. I have people, I've had so many people say, well, you just go out there and you just throw a worm at a log in the water and you catch fish. I'm like, dude, you just have no idea.
I'll give you an example from last year. So early grass. This is early grass in early April, late March. So there was grass that was topped out. So I'm fishing grass. there were 3 levels of grass. So you had grass that was topped out, you had grass that was just starting to come up that was about this high, and you had grass that was about a foot tall. They weren't in the grass that was this high. They weren't in the matted grass. They weren't anywhere. You found any of that grass that was like a foot high, you find a patch of that, absolutely loaded. It was very specific that grass that was about this high off the bottom was loaded with fish. The other grass was barren. Like, you could not buy a bite in the other grass. You find grass that high, crush them. I mean, the day that I was out with Kevin, 4 or 5 times I caught 3 fish in three consecutive casts in like 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, this wasn't an all day thing. This was a 90-minute window that we hit when the tide got right. Which is another thing. Like, the tide, like, I knew by that point I had been on this bite long enough that I knew what the tide needed to be. And we ran back at the end of the day to the same spot we started on, that we never caught a fish over 2.5 pounds and caught 20 pounds in 45 minutes. Like, you have to, there's so many variables that you have to put together, and you have to pay attention to all that. Yeah. So just, somebody giving you a waypoint is not going to help you.
Yeah.
Don't look for waypoints.
It's pattern recognition.
Especially,
there's a pattern recognition, and there's so many variables that make a pattern.
Especially on the bay, because of the giant, the giant, we're fishing grass.
It's huge. It's one giant 6,000 acre grass mat, whatever it is.
And pattern fishing will make you successful out there. So being able to recognize the patterns. It's not necessarily about a spot, because those fish move all the time.
And how do you do that?
You put time on the water.
You put time on the water. Now, the one thing that I can say, because I'm guilty of it myself, when you put that time on the water, it's not just putting time on the water. It's thinking about what you're doing and looking at what you're doing. You can go out there as many hours as you want and as many days as you want and fish.
But if your head's
you
not
go to
right,
random crap and fish. But if you don't fish, if you don't look at the environment that's around you and then say, the wind is blowing this direction, the water is this deep, the water is this temperature, this is hydrilla, this is eelgrass. If you don't take
all of that
and combine it into one scientific formula,
they're in this grass.
You're just out there wasting time.
They're on these hard edges.
You have to have the mindset to look at this, and this, and create a formula or a pattern.
So doing that it's constructive time on the water.
Fishing is not brainless like people think it is. It's not this mindless activity.
I will have days where I'm out there. Decision making is the number one thing in fishing, especially tournament fishing. It's all about decision making. So if you can't make the right decisions, you're never going to have a successful tournament. And that may mean, and I've talked to you about this, multiple times. They're like, oh, well, I just got to wait for the tide to get right. I got to wait for the tide to get right. You know me. I will never wait for the tide to get right, because I know somewhere around here they're biting on whatever tide we're on. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to find that spot, and I'm going to run that spot until I know when I need to be here in this area. So I have 5 hours to find those bonus fish. For example, on the shore, I know where I can catch fish on high tide on the shore. The main places that people catch fish on the shore are going to be on low tide. Hear anybody talk about the eastern shore? It's all, oh, you got to have low tide, you got to have low tide, you got to have low tide. Most of my bigger fish have come on high tide. I can usually get my kicker or a good solid, like a nice 2.5 pounder on the worst tide, because I know there are going to be areas and there's going to be feeding windows on any tide. You just have to find them. You got to put in the effort. You got to put in the work to be able to find them. I have spots on the flat, out on the flats, only good on high tide. But you go on there on high tide, it's slow, in certain times of the year, loaded. They're high tide spots. You go there on low tide, you don't catch shit. They just don't get there. They move up there on high tide to feed. I've got, multiple places like that where I know that they move up into this area to feed on high tide. And I can go there and I can usually catch fish. So I'm going to focus on those areas while I'm waiting for that good, prime low tide spot. I'm not just going to sit there and wait for it when I can go to a high tide spot and put some fish in the boat. Because if you got to wait till the end of the day, look, like I'm telling you, fishing is 90%
You're already cooked,
mental.
baby. You're already cooked.
It's 90% mental. So it's really hard, and you have to have a really, really strong mental fortitude to go all day not having any fish to know that I'm going to catch 5 in the last hour. Like, I know that's when the tide's going to get right. I'm going to catch 5 there. For most of us, if we can get a couple fish in the boat or get an early limit, even if it's 10, 12 pounds, it relaxes you so much mentally, and you think clearer because you don't have that. You don't have that voice in the back of your head like, oh my God, I only got an hour and a half left. I only got an hour left. I only got 45 minutes left. To where, okay, well, I got 5 in the boat. So I'm going to go over here. Let's see if I can call a couple times. It's the end of the day. Let me make that one last stop and boom, boom, boom. Let me see if I can, I can call some of these fish out. It makes you think a lot differently because you try to force things. And when you try to force things, nothing good comes of that. Chad was talking about spending constructive time on the water. If you're out there and you feel like you're not making good decisions and your head's not in it, put your boat on the trailer. Especially if you're practicing for a tournament, put your boat on the trailer. You will get more out of putting your boat on the trailer, going home, getting something to eat, resetting, and just coming back the next day. Reset your mind, get in the right mindset, and it will be way better. Time on the water is not, it has to be constructive time on the water. You have to be mentally involved in it as well. That's how you become a better fisherman. It's the mental side of bass fishing. There's a huge mental side. Now, for some people, if you're not into tournament fishing and you just like to be out on the water and that's your enjoyment is just being out there, and if you catch something cool, if you don't, that's cool too because you got to spend that day on the water. That's fine. That's okay too. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're trying to be a better bass fisherman, you have to get your head into it.
I completely agree. You have to get your head into it. I think one of the things that I want to say, from my perspective, as somebody who's not as serious as a tournament fisherman as you are, I fish the Thursday nighters, which is basically just a Thursday night 3-hour derby. That's the extent of any type of tournament fishing that I do. But the number one thing, in my opinion, that people need to remember and they need to reel in is just be grateful and enjoy being out there.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're fishing a tournament. I don't care if you're fishing a Thursday night derby. I don't care if you're just going out there with your buddy drinking a couple beers, which you're not supposed to do, but you know what?
Yeah, as long as it's a couple.
And having a good time. It's all about you go out there, and no matter what you do, be grateful that you're out there and enjoy being out there. I don't care if you're catching fish. I don't care if you're hammering fish. If you got to move spots, whatever it is, be grateful that you're out there. Enjoy being out there in nature. Having the mindset to just fish and enjoy it no matter what happens will take you to different places.
For sure. And I want to add on to that. Enjoy it your way.
Right.
Chad likes to throw big swim baits.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hate on Chad for throwing a big swim bait.
I love throwing big swim baits.
That's what he likes to do.
That's what I love to do.
That's fine. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go out there and fish all day, throwing an 8-inch glide bait to get one bite. That's not enjoyable to me, but that's enjoyable to Chad. So that's cool. Everybody, I would throw that all day because that thing's beautiful.
This thing is sick.
I might have to shove that in my pocket on the way out. I'll take a treble hook to the dick for that.
Go out there and do what you
But go out and do what you enjoy. If you like live scoping, go out and live scope. If you hate live scope, nobody's telling you you have to use it.
Go out there and do what you need to do.
What you see on TV, you don't have to do what they're doing on TV to enjoy fishing.
Do what you enjoy doing.
Go out. If you want to throw a jig, go out and throw a jig all day. It's cool. I love throwing a jig. I'll go out and throw a jig all day with you. We'll have a blast.
There's
You
so
want to go out
many
and live
times.
scope? I love live scoping too. We'll go out and shake a minnow all day. I don't care. I just like having something pulling on my line. We want to go. You want to go catch stripers all day? We'll go catch schoolie stripers all day. I will catch 15-inch stripers until my arms fall off. I love it. I just enjoy fishing, and I'm never going to put somebody down for the way that they like to fish. I've never put Chad down. The only time I've ever told Chad that he was a dumbass for throwing big baits is when he complained about not catching fish in a tournament. I was like, well, don't stop throwing 8-inch swim baits. Like, get your limit.
Don't tell me what to do.
You know, go get your limit. Like but don't, like I'm gonna tell it. Like I'm gonna shoot you straight. Like if Chad comes to me and he's like, man, I suck. I can't catch any fish. I was like, well, try changing up what you're doing. You know, right? I'm gonna shoot you straight. Like I don't hold my punches. Like I'll tell you straight up what I think. You know, but
the point is go out there and do what you enjoy doing and just enjoy fishing. I don't care if you're a pleasure fisherman, if you're fishing tournaments. When you get into the mindset that if I don't go out there and catch fish,
guess what?
You ruin your own mindset and you ruin fishing. Ask me how I know. Why do you think unfortunately for 2 seasons, I basically not fallen off and haven't not fished, but haven't fished the way that I used to fish. I put too much pressure on myself. I did things that I didn't enjoy, and it killed it. Look, go out there and just enjoy fishing. I don't care if you got to watch the bald eagles fly across the river. Enjoy fishing. Enjoy being out there in nature.
Last year,
period.
I had one of the best tournament seasons I've ever had last year, and I never went into a tournament giving a shit about how I finished.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'd go out with Delaney and was like, hey, I call some fishing practice. We're going to go, we're going to go out and give her hell, but, I'm on them, but, you know how that goes, guess what? We were relaxed. We went out, blasted them. I mean, we blasted them in every tournament too.
Lots of different variables, Joe. And I'm gonna be one of those people where I'm open and honest with every single person on this show. I don't care who's listening. Between having a live stream that's called Bass and Beer Radio, and we specifically talk about bass fishing, and then not being able to be a contender in the top in a lot of the tournaments that I've fished, you know what I'm like? There's things like that. My boat not running properly. Many different variables made me feel.
Honestly, though,
it didn't matter. None of it mattered.
Exactly.
None of it mattered.
Who cares? Who cares if you finish dead last in a local derby? None of it mattered. Bay.
But that was the problem that I was facing. It was like, man, how can I have this podcast or this live stream called Bass and Beer Radio that I run every single Friday night, but I can't be a competitor in the Thursday night threefers.
Look,
but these are things that don't matter. This is the mindset that I had to get past, and that's where I'm at now. I'm just ready to go back to fishing because I fucking love fishing.
Joe, I'm into tournaments because I'm super competitive, and that it just feeds another portion of my addiction.
I love to do some competitive stuff myself, but you can't be so competitive that you let it bring you down. Yeah. If you don't place where you want to be.
Hey, guess what? Catch them the next time. Look, Thursday nighters, perfect example.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I don't care where I finish in the Thursday nighters because I fish the Thursday nighters with my wife, and that's why I fish the Thursday nighters.
Yeah.
Because we go out on a Thursday night and we go fishing and we have fun. That's it. Sometimes we win. Sometimes we don't.
Joe. Joe says, I feel like it would become more of a job, more than fun. And I want it to be fun and not worry about money. It wasn't worrying about money. It was worrying about
if you have to worry.
Here's the
thing. If you have to worry
I wasn't
about
worrying about money, but I guess it was worrying about status. Like, how am I going to clout? How am I going to have Bass and Beer Radio and then not be able to place near the top in a lot of these tournaments? It was that mental mindset, and you can't have that in bass fishing. In bass fishing, you just need to go out and enjoy it and have fun no matter what happens.
If you're to Joe's point, about worrying about the money, if you're if you're worrying about the money, you're never going to do well in tournaments anyway. You can't worry about the money. You can't think about it.
Yep.
I've won a lot of money. I've won a lot of money on the Bay. But guess what? Never once have I worried about the money. That $100 that I put in is gone. The moment I pay my entry fee, that $100 is gone. I am not worried about that $100 anymore. I'm going to go out, I'm going to fish, and I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to try to do as well as I can.
Yep.
That's all I can do. It's me and the fish after that. Me versus the fish. Yeah. That's all I care about. You know, and that's how I keep it fun. And, you know, I had a couple of years where you know, to be fair, I was worried about it. You know, I was worried about winning and like, oh, I need to, you know, I need this
money.
Love
the comments, guys. Love them.
I need this money. And guess what? Those were some of the worst years that I had. You know, the best years that I've ever had tournament fishing were the years that I just didn't care. And I was, you know, I didn't care. Well, I didn't care about the money or winning the tournament. I'm just doing it to have fun. Whoever I'm fishing with, like, you know, whether I'm fishing with my buddy Frank, who I love to fish with, and I don't get to fish as many tournaments with him anymore. But anytime we go out, guess what? We're going to have fun because that $100 is gone. We're going to go out, we're going to have fun, and we're going to catch fish. You know, if I'm fishing with my buddy Mark, me and Mark always have fun. He hates not catching fish. You know, if I go out with my buddy Ron, we're just going out. Like, I fish with people that I like to fish with, that we can have fun with on the boat, that aren't super serious. I can even get Nate. Like, I fished a bunch of tournaments with Nate. I can even get Nate to not be that. And Nate's like the most serious tournament fisher ever. And like, he only cares about winning. But like, you know, we can get out there and we're just bashing each other, and dude, you know, we're stealing. You know, somebody misses a fish, we're flipping right in like where they got that bite. You know, like, hey, you catch my fish. You know, it's back to having fun.
It's back to that mindset for me right now, where it all started with, dude. I started fishing on a John boat. Well, I started fishing in ponds with Adam, but I started fishing on a John boat. I went out, I fished with Scuba Steve, and it's back to the point where, like, I can go out and I can fish. We can fish together, and we can catch nothing. But you know what? I had a freaking blast on the boat because I hung out with one of my best friends.
Exactly. That's what it's all about.
And we went out and we went fishing.
You know,
that's all that matters anymore. That's all that matters.
Even like club tournaments. I used to get really stressed out about club tournaments. I've won Angler of the Year for my club for, I think this is the 7th or 8th year in a row.
Yeah.
And for a couple of years I was really stressed out about it because like I wanted to keep that streak going.
Yeah.
Last year, it was just about hanging out with the guys in the club. Like, that's all I cared about. A lot of the tournaments I ended up fishing by myself. We didn't have a co-angler. Fished by myself. Very little pressure. Like, hey, well, you know what? If I catch him, I catch him. If I don't, whatever.
Yeah.
And broke a club record for total weight. And it was like the year that I cared the least about it. The previous year, I didn't pre-fish for a single tournament.
Exactly, man.
Like, I just went out there and like, okay, well, I'll just figure, whatever. Like, I got a TBF tournament that's down in the Potomac. I need to spend my pre-fish time down there.
That's the attitude right there, Martin and Matt. Jason, Steve is definitely cool. It's about going out there and being with your friends, and then even no matter what, even at the end of that Thursday night three, for the end of that club tournament, guess where you're going to go? You're going to go back to the boat ramp, and you're going to be surrounded by a bunch of your friends, and you're going to chill, and you're going to have a good time, no matter how it was. And if you have somebody there that you consider your friend, then they go and they put you down because you didn't catch any fish or anything, they weren't your friend anyways.
Look.
So, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, the mentality is have fun, love what you are doing, no matter what is happening. Obviously, look at the patterns, look at what's going on around you, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Just enjoy the moment. Enjoy being out there. That's what fishing is all about. That's what hunting is all about. There's guys sit out there in a tree stand and hunt for deer for days on end and never see one. But you want to know what you fucking see? Oh, you see God's creation. Right. You see everything around you. The squirrels, the birds.
Rabbits, fox. That fox running by.
You see things in a tree stand that you will never ever see anywhere else.
So, to your point, like even in draw tournaments, like when I was, when I fished the SQTs, yearly, like there were people, like I know that if I'm in a draw tournament and I draw Matt, who's watching, and I'm going to pick on Matt, but I know that if I draw Matt, we're going to have a blast.
Yeah.
We always do. We are laughing the entire time, and it's great. And if I draw him in a draw tournament, win, lose, or draw, I know I'm going to have a good day because he's a great guy to fish with, and we're going to have an enjoyable time. Now, I have drawn co-anglers that weren't as good, but even not knowing people, I drew a guy from New York the first day of the Bass Nation Championship last year, and aside from him casting in front of me, which pissed me off at one point, and I yelled at him. We had a good time. We talked. We were able to talk the whole time. We were talking about he's from New York. He's fished a couple tournaments on the Bay. So we could talk about the Bay. We talked about the Potomac. He's fished the Potomac a lot. He fishes a lot of BFLs. And at the end of the day, we had a good time, and that's all I told him. I was like, hey, look,
it's all that matters.
I wasn't on shit. I wasn't on shit in Wisconsin. I knew I could catch a limit. I knew that limit wasn't getting me anywhere. So that's what we did. We went and fished, and we caught a bunch of fish, and unfortunately for him, like he caught a bunch of fish, but his fish didn't measure. My fish did.
It comes down to come to the end of it. It comes down to never forget why you started fishing in the first place.
Right.
Never forget
Find a way
where
to
you started. Never forget why you started.
Whether you're fishing a tournament or you're just out fun fishing, find a way to have fun.
Yeah. Never forget why you started there in the first place.
It's about having fun. If having fun is going out and just bullshitting with your buddy, that's cool. Maybe having fun, like me and Frank, always a competition. And that's how we have fun. Oh yeah, I got you. I got 20 today. You only got 15. We have fun. I caught, when we caught that 26-pound bag in December, I catch like a 5.5 pounder. I'm like, I get back up, we're live scoping. So like I get back up on live scope. He's pushing me out of the way. He's like, no. Like you just caught a 5-pounder. You let me have this for a little bit. We had probably one of the best days not best fishing days, just best days that I've had on the water because we had so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's snowing.
Frank is a riot, dude.
Right. And it's snowing. Like there's snow covering the deck of the boat in the morning, and it's cold. One of the best, most enjoyable days I've ever had fishing. No sun. It's cloudy, snowing. One of the best days. Catching 26 pounds helps, but we could have caught 20 pounds, and it would have been just as enjoyable because one, I was able to show Frank something, and being able to teach somebody, especially one of my friends, something, a technique. I get a lot of fulfillment out of that. Whether it be a friend of mine, I've boat captained for some high school kids, youth tournaments. Being able to show them something new and have them catch fish on a new technique and learn something, like that's what I enjoy most about this. And I'll tell you anything. Like I don't care. I just don't care. Right? We've never fished together either, Martin. We need to fix that this year.
Mm-hmm. Jim says you guys need to watch the DMV podcast about the big bass in Virginia, teeners and tons of double digits. Man, those guys put so much time into those lakes, man. You don't just go out there and catch double digits. It doesn't happen that way.
I know some of those lakes like Briery, Jason fishes them. Jason Stevens fishes them every year.
Dude, Southern Trout Eaters, Joe. Oh my God, what a classic. What a classic.
They always, every year on their trip, they catch, they don't, not double digits, but they catch big fish. They usually catch like a 7-pound, somebody will catch like a 7-pounder or something like that, which is awesome. That's still a big fish. I think we've got, see that, and that, the internet has ruined a lot of the fun of fishing. Because if you go out and
your expectations are just so much
not
higher.
only your expectations, but you go catch a 5-pounder, and a 5-pounder is a big fish.
It's a great fish.
I don't give a shit where you're at. A 5-pounder is a good fish. Yeah. That is a large fish. That is the standard for a big fish. Post it on a Facebook group. 30 people call it a dink. And that's the culture has been ruined by social media. Where as much as it's been grown by social media, it's also been ruined because I told somebody today,
because people are dickheads.
Well, everybody's entitled to opinion. What the internet has done is made people think that their opinions matter.
Yeah.
Guess
Which
what?
blows my mind, honestly.
Right? Somebody catches, Fisher Anaya wins a tournament. He's fishing completely within the rules that everybody has access to. Go read a Bassmaster post. And half the posts are just old men shitting on him. And that's messed up. Support each other. We're all part of the fishing community. If I don't like throwing big baits.
Yeah, Jim, but hey, you ain't wrong.
What? I still enjoy talking to Jim and hearing what he has to say about fishing. And that's all he fishes for the most part. It's not my thing. I like to, I talk to you about big baits all the time. Maybe I can learn something. Maybe I can learn something from you. Mm-hmm. We're all part of the fishing community. It doesn't matter how you fish. It doesn't matter if you're young and you like live scoping or if you're 65 years old and you only throw a jig. Doesn't matter. Stop hating on each other. It's terrible. The amount of hate that you see, it's ruining fishing in general, the fishing community. It's not ruining fishing, it's ruining the fishing community. That community that we've had. Oh, yeah, but you're up in them Jersey lakes, Joe. 5-pounder up there is like catching that's like catching a 12-pounder on the bay. Which does not exist, I don't think. Right. Because we can all that's the key is like, hey, I don't fish big baits, but if I listen to Jim enough, I know he spent a lot of time on the water. I might be able to learn something from him. And he might be able to learn something from me. It's mutual respect. Mm-hmm. Despite me loving to live scope and using live scope a lot. I use live scope I didn't realize how much I used live scope until I fished with my buddy on Lake Anno a few weeks ago. And how lost I was with it for like the first 3 hours of fishing. And that includes fishing shallow water. We weren't fishing anything special. It's not like we were fishing like out offshore or anything. That's including like traditional fishing, how much I use it in that. But just because I like fishing with live scope and I'm successful fishing with live scope doesn't mean that Jim can't learn something from me. About, maybe it's about, hey, these fish position at, these fish, this is the way that these fish were positioned out here. And Jim might be like, hey, well, I was catching them on a big bait and this is where I was catching from. Oh, that's interesting because like I was fishing that same area and I couldn't get them to react to anything. Maybe I should have been throwing a big bait. Maybe that's one of those, those things. Again, we talked earlier about putting the pieces together of the pattern.
Yep.
Same mentality should go to watching videos, talking to people, but mostly just have respect for other anglers, despite their style of fishing. Not talking about them, their integrity, their attitude. If somebody's an asshole, they're an asshole. I get it. I'm not gonna. I try to surround my people with people I like and I get along with. I don't want to be around assholes, right?
Yes, sir.
But just because somebody fishes differently than you doesn't mean you're better than them or they're better than you. You just fish differently. Just because somebody catches them on live scope, guess what? You're not better than them.
There's more than one way to shoot fish in a barrel, my brother.
You're not better than them because you caught them on a jig one day 10 years ago and had 28 pounds.
It's all in your head, man. It's all in your head. You know, you can go out and catch freaking 19 pounds one day. I can go fish the same spot, and it's all in your head. It's all in your head.
I have the same amount of respect, to Jim. So, Jim saying yes, respect matters. I have the same amount of respect for the Gary Baileys and Danny Rodriguez's, for the local guys that know them, the guys who have fished here for 35, 40 years fishing, maybe even longer fishing on the bay. I have the same amount of respect for them as I do for, the guy that's been fishing the bay for 2 years and and has figured it out and is a good fisherman. The same amount of respect. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that somebody's only been fishing around here for a year. And when that stuff happens and somebody, starts fishing and is successful very quickly out of nowhere, nobody knows who they are. People throw shade on them. And I hate that. Oh, whether, it's like because somebody
Paul talks to me and I'm in a kayak.
That's true. I talk to Jason more than I talk to my wife on the phone. But it's, that respect, like, it doesn't matter.
As Andrew Blair would say, fishing Tupperware.
Yes. It doesn't matter if you've only been fishing for a year. That's no reason to throw shade at somebody. Somebody's fishing been fishing the bay for a year. Oh, and he's catching them. Oh, he must be cheating. He's got a basket out there somewhere. He's doing something. He's stealing spots. He's getting waypoints. He's yada, yada, yada. Everybody makes excuses for why somebody beat you.
Jim, we appreciate you, man. Have a good day tomorrow. Let us know how you do.
They beat you because they're fucking better than you on that day. That's the bottom line. So just respect them for it. Hey, good job, man. It's all there needs to be. You don't have to talk shit behind their back. That's the kind of stuff that's been, like, I saw, I'm sorry to rant about this tonight, but like I saw so much of that as I was scrolling through Facebook today while I was waiting to get a new laptop for work. And I didn't have anything better to do. I saw so much of that. Oh, he couldn't do it without live scope. Oh, I can catch, I can catch him like that, without live scope. He wouldn't be doing that if you put a jig in his hand. Stop making excuses. Just stop. Like, hey, it's here. They're using it. Everybody can use it. That's the bottom line. Like, that's all it has to be. You don't have to fish that way. You don't fish on the Elite Series. Like Joe Schmo on Facebook making comments, you're never going to fish on the Elite Series, and you, despite what you think, you never had the skills to fish on the Elite Series. Sorry about your luck. Guess what? Neither do I.
No offense, Joe.
But nothing is telling you, just because guys are fishing a certain way on the Elite Series, that doesn't mean that you have to fish that way. Like we said earlier, fish the way that you enjoy fishing. If you don't like fishing with live scope, don't put live scope on your boat. Guess what? You're going to have just as much fun as you did last year.
Yep.
Maybe you want to learn live scope. Put live scope on your boat. Cool. Nobody's forcing you to do it, but if you want to, go for it. If you're concerned, like, oh, I can't compete in tournaments around here if I don't have live scope, then you're fishing local tournaments for the wrong reason. Hey, guess what? You're never going to make money fishing local tournaments. Sorry about your luck.
You shouldn't be chasing money anyways.
Maybe if you live in Alabama, if you live in Alabama or someplace like that, sure. You can probably you can make a fair amount of money, quite a good amount of money, fishing tournaments. But you better be a freaking hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? Every one of those guys in that tournament, or nearly all of them, fishing the Alabama Bass Trail, are good enough to fish on the Elite Series. So if you don't think you're good enough to qualify for the Elite Series and you're only going to fish local tournaments, you're going to be in for a rude awakening, because half that field has had the capability of qualifying for the Elite Series at some point in their life. And you might get the best of them one day. And those are the good days, right? That's what you fish for. That's why I fish local tournaments. Hey, guess what? Oh, man, I beat Mike Iaconelli today. Like, that, hey, that was cool. I fished a tournament against Iaconelli today, and I finished 6th place. But Ike finished 14th. Mm-hmm. You know what? That's all I needed today. I don't care about the check.
Yep.
Well, like I said earlier, that $100 is gone as soon as you put it in there. As soon as you pay your entry fee, $100 is gone. Don't worry about it anymore. Don't drop the money if you're not. Don't drop the money for an entry fee if you're worried about losing it.
Yes, sir. Anyways.
No, Matt. Let the technology. The technology's fine. But if you don't like using it, just don't use it. Like, it's fine. Like, that's fine too. But don't neglect advancements in technology and fishing simply because you want to fish it a certain way.
Don't get mad somebody beats you on live scope if you want to fish without live scope.
Not even that. Taking that away. Just talking about fishing in general, not tournament fishing, just going out fishing. Don't ban the technology for the sole reason of, oh, I want to do it. They should be doing it the old
See
way.
you, Jason.
The quote unquote old way.
Darla, thanks for joining.
That's my aunt.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
She thought our photo was funny.
She did, because I did post the other day that I was going to unfriend or unfollow literally anyone who posted an AI generated image.
You better not.
I'm going to unfollow Bass and Beer.
I'll still be on every week, but I'm going to
Right, Joe, and that's the thing. Like, all these people that bitch about like technology and shit like that. Look, I know a guy who's good and a guy who can catch them is going to win whether they have it or not. They're going to catch fish whether they have it or not. If they understand fish, they understand fish movements, they're going to beat you whether they have it or not. Do you know how many times that I had live scope on my boat and Michael Duarte did not, and he whipped my ass hard? Hey, guess what?
I can only imagine.
I had all the electronics on my boat that I needed, or that I could use. I have a decent setup. Mike didn't even have a working front unit on his boat and won a BFL. It's pretty crazy. It's just pretty crazy, the mindset that some people have, and there's such hate because this technology exists. I'm firmly convinced, having used it, dude, it's so much fun. Like, that bite is so much fun. Yeah. And watching those fish shoot up off the bottom to chase your jerkbait and follow your jerkbait, and the exhilaration that gives. It's like, think about when you get a follow on a big bait. Like, and you can see it, you're working your bait and you can watch that fish follow it. Thinking about, how many times a day do you get that to happen? Maybe 3 or 4.
Couple times, 2, 3, maybe.
4. Imagine having that happen.
Maybe, if you're lucky.
So imagine that, except 30 times a day. Where that fish is following your bait, and you can see it, and like, oh my God, he's gonna eat it. He's gonna eat it.
That would make me so angry.
Right. It frustrates you, but like, you get that exhilaration, you get that adrenaline of like, it's gonna eat it. It's so much.
Guys, we're almost at 200 comments for the night. Get us to that 200 comment mark, and then we're gonna be signing off.
Oh, I hope we're very close.
Come on, 200 comments, 191 comments. We need 9 more comments.
But think about that. Like, if you can see that, like that day that me and Frank were out, 26 pounds, right? It was almost every cast that you would have one.
That's crazy, dude.
That you'd have one behind your jerkbait. And you're just sitting there waiting. I'm like, he's gonna eat. He's gonna eat. He didn't eat. Like, he swerves off. Like, crap. It's like, and then it just makes you want to get another one, right? It's so much. I'm thoroughly convinced that the people who
he's just saying random shit.
I'm thoroughly convinced that most of the people have either never used it or they have just a strong moral objection to technology, which is then ironic that they're complaining about it on Facebook from the phone that they're holding in their hand that is stronger than the computer that they had 10 years ago.
That's wild,
but
man. That was wild.
But the main point is, fish the way that
we just hit it, Joe. You did it, man.
Thanks, Joe.
You're the man.
The main point is,
oh,
Matt, we'll get you on one day.
Welcome anytime.
Yeah. You can come up, hang out with us, drink a couple beers. I know you like drinking a couple beers.
Welcome anytime, brother. Anytime.
The main thing is,
spell check is wild.
The main point we were trying to make is fish the way that you like to fish and don't worry about how other people are fishing.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't matter that Chad's only throwing big baits when we're out there. Even if he's on the back of my boat. If me and Chad are fishing together and he's only throwing big bait, I know that's because that's what he likes to do. And if I catch enough fish, he's gonna put it down and pick something else up. He's like,
you better believe I'm definitely gonna pick up that crankbait or something.
He's like, yeah, I'm tired of not catching fish.
Okay, like but then, you get one in the boat today.
And then I've seen it. Like, he'll catch that one and be all right, I'm good. And he'll go back to doing what he wanted to do, you know?
You've seen it before, man. I'll catch that one I want to catch on the bait, and then I'm like, all right, that's all I need for today. It's time to throw shaky head or a crankbait.
Except for that one day when it was like, when we were just blasting them on chatterbaits in the pond.
Was you not putting it down.
Never picked up a big bait the entire time you were down there.
It was there, but it was like, not today.
Like, you would like go to set your chatterbait rod down, and you're like, no, pick chatterbait rod, throw it back out there. You need to play the hand when it's hot. Just do what you enjoy.
Yes.
For me, I enjoy catching fish. And to me, it's about figuring my enjoyment in fishing. When I find a good place to fish around here. My enjoyment in fishing is figuring out the pattern. What's the best pattern of the day? If I can figure out the puzzle, that's where I get my enjoyment. So I'm not one that's going to just lock into something like a big bait like Chad does, because that's what I enjoy catching them on. You know what I enjoy catching them on? Whatever they're biting. I don't care. It doesn't matter if it's a buzz bait or a spinner bait or a flipping bait or a jig or a jerk bait. That's what I like catching them on. Whatever they're eating. Chad likes catching them on a big bait. I like catching them on whatever they're eating. If I'm on the boat with Chad and I've caught one fish and Chad's caught 5 on a glide bait, hey, guess what? I'm picking up a glide bait. Not really my thing, but hey, guess what?
It's happened. Every once in a while, it's happened. I'll be out fishing with Scuba Steve.
For some reason, they want to fish. They want to eat that glide bait today.
Yeah, for some reason, they just want to eat a 6-inch mag draft over anything else.
Yeah, guess what?
It's happened.
And guess what? I'm going to throw it. Because that's what I like to do. I like to figure out. I like putting together the pieces of the puzzle and figuring out the best pattern for the day. That's what I enjoy. And that's like, I don't care. I don't expect Chad to want to go out and do that. I don't expect Rob to go out and want to do that. To me and Tony are very much alike. We want to figure out what's best for the day. Like we think very much alike. I'm surprised we've never fished tournaments together, because we do fish incredibly well together. Mm-hmm. Like when we're out just messing around, we usually blast them. Yeah, Tony has pre-fished with me for a couple of my tournaments when I'm going out by myself, especially since he hasn't had a boat. I knew that he'd want to get out, so I'd be like, hey, I'm going to go pre-fish. You want to come with me? And we've blasted them, and we've never fished a tournament together, which is hilarious.
It's time,
but maybe this year. Maybe we'll fish something this year. But hey, jerkbait, come down here and fish with. I gotta figure out if there's any good bass fishing around. Like if I can find anywhere I can take my boat in, I'll come down. I need to come down and see you anyway. Tony has a great time in the boat, especially when he gets stubborn and won't change baits and continues to throw a chatterbait when I've caught like 30 on a spinnerbait.
I have seen Tony do some things that just had me laughing out loud on the boat, and it just geeks me out. I love fishing with Tony.
To be fair, the funniest.
He's very easygoing to fish with. You can do whatever you want to do. Tony's happy with it.
The funnest times I've had with Tony on my boat is when he completely melts down because he just cannot catch fish, and he's hilarious.
Yeah,
because he's so like.
I've seen him break like 5 or 6 baits off in one day, and he's like, "I swear to God, it's a fish!" And I was like, "Dude," you keep hitting logs and ripping your shit off on them. I'm like,
but it's not a fish.
It's so funny.
Tony's great. Tony's a good time in a boat. I really enjoy fishing with Tony, and I need to fish. I really, really want to fish a couple.
Tony's an overall good person.
For sure.
He's an overall just a good person.
One of my favorite people in the world.
Yes. Love Tony.
Consider him a very, very good friend. He's in a select group of people that I know that I can, if I need something, I can call them and they'll be in the same. If Tony ever called me and said, "Hey man, I'm stranded. I'm down on the Potomac. I'm stranded up by Bellhaven. My motor blew up. Like, hey, is there anybody else in the water? No, you're down there by yourself. Didn't see anybody else drown. All right, I'll be there in an hour and a half. Like, I'm gonna come. Like, I'll drop everything and I'll come down and get him. Yep. And because I know he'd do the same thing for me. I never understood why he broke off all the time until I saw his double foot planer rolling Martin hook set. And it doesn't matter what he's throwing either. It could be a drop shot with 8-pound line or a flipping stick with 80-pound braid.
He's giving it the hook the same way, dude. Every time. I've watched him even throw like crankbaits, and like he's such a crankbait, like it's a jig.
I've fished with him on Conolingo enough and watched him. He's throwing a spinning rod with a white line, and I swear he sets the hook on a spinning rod the same way he sets the hook on a frog. It's hilarious.
It geeks me out, dude. It's so funny. Good ass person. Tony is. Everybody here, Rob, Paul, Tony.
Yep.
We're very blessed to be doing this together.
For sure.
We have a good friendship.
All the Thursday night, I'll call it the Thursday night regulars.
Yeah. Kevin.
Me, you, Tony, Martin, Kevin. I'll throw Jason in there. The Lake Anna guy. Like they're like. I don't like people. I'm not a people person. I don't like going out into crowds of people. I can put the fake face on because
What's up, Lil John?
I worked in retail for years. I've worked in customer service for forever. Even part of my job now is customer service. So I can put on the fake face and I can talk to people. I don't really like being in crowds of people. So if I can go to Lake Anna with 10 dudes and have a good time and never feel like I'm pissed off at somebody, those are good dudes.
Yeah.
Tom, you're talking about the Thursday night, Tom and Nick.
Tom, yep.
Great, just there's just a bunch of great people, and it's one of the reasons that I love fishing the Thursday nighters is just the.
It's loaded with so many good guys.
It's just the people that's there. Clinton, Martin, Buck, Tony,
Dustin,
Chad.
Dustin doesn't fish the Thursday nighters.
Occasionally.
Dustin,
I see. For some reason, his club and my club always schedule their tournaments on the same time. So I always end up seeing Dustin at the boat ramp anyway.
Buck,
Bob Murphy.
Murph. Can't forget about Murph, yeah.
Those guys are great. Even Greg. Yeah. As much as I rag on Greg, like me and Greg are good friends. And I do love Greg.
I love Greg. Scott Sewell. I love Greg and Scott.
You know?
They're good dudes.
I rag on Greg all the time, and I do it, and it's out of love because as much as I rag on Greg, I do really like Greg. Now Greg does get on my nerves sometimes, occasionally when he complains about everything on Facebook. But John's gonna be fishing the Thursday nighters this summer. All right.
Yep.
All right, well, John, we'll see you there.
You'll be
I'll
running the old bass cat.
Running the old bass cat.
Hell yeah.
Dad letting him take it
Dude,
out.
what a sick boat to be able to run for the Thursday nighters.
Hell
dude.
yeah.
That boat is tight, dude. That's a sweet boat.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. Happy to have you all. I think I'm going to be rejoining the Thursday nighters this year, so I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time.
Wait, you might have a new partner this year? Are you fishing with Little John?
Well, he said, speak of the devil. Okay.
Is it going to be John and Martin?
Martin, are you fishing with Lil John?
Martin taking the youngin under his wing? Going to show him the ropes?
He's a good kid, man. He's a good kid.
Yeah, he is.
He's a good kid.
He's a good kid. Martin's a good dude. Sure, if they're fishing together, Martin will show him some things.
Shit, dude. Like, I get upset when Martin doesn't comment on the show. Because, like, I just love when Martin comments on the show.
I get sad
I
get sad when Martin doesn't come to a Thursday nighter.
He says, nah.
It makes me sad.
Who you fishing with, Martin?
Dustin.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, so you meant the literal devil. Because he's going to take my money.
You're not allowed to do that.
That's okay.
I'm talking to Scott after the show, and we're going to say that Martin Dustin together.
I feel like at least on the gunpowder, I can hold my own against Dustin. So maybe not on the flats.
John says he's fishing with Nick, a friend of his.
Okay.
Cool. Hell yeah. Good stuff.
I thought when he said "speak of the devil" that he him and Little John were, talk something up.
John, what's your dad gonna fish on if you're using this boat? We gotta get Big John out there a little bit. I'm fishing with Scuba Steve.
I'm excited that Dustin's gonna fish.
Love to see it. Love to see it. Hate to see it.
Clint kind of retired. He's just chasing stripers this year. Oh, I'm gonna miss Clint.
I like Clint.
Clint's
a good dude. In the shape that Clint is in, Clint will be the first person to roll underneath somebody's trailer or underneath their truck to do anything and help them out at any time.
Exactly.
He's just one of those people. He's just a good person.
Yeah, Thursday night. I'm looking forward to the Thursday nighters this year. I'm not fishing a ton of other tournaments this year. Not a ton of open tournaments anyway. So I'm fishing one outside of I'm fishing my TBF tournaments and my club tournaments, and other than that, I'm fishing the SFT SummerSlam, and that's it.
He said it'll be his boat, so Dustin is handicapped. Okay.
You could put Dustin in a Coleman crawdad on the flats out of tidings, and it'll still be 3/4 of the people in the field.
Well, you got to remember, Little John, it's either going to be me and Steve for the solstice or me and Tony for the solstice. So we'll see how it adds up. I'm either going to fish with Steve or I'm going to fish with Tony. That's how the solstice always lines up.
I know, depending on the weather. I did not run last year was the first year in a while that I didn't run the flats for the solstice. And that is yet to pay off for me.
That's the only one it's worth running to the flats for.
The only time that I've done well in the solstice is when I didn't run up there. I won last year. I won the first Thursday nighter. The solstice got canceled, but the last 2 years I ran to the flats for the solstice. I ended up like 4th. I probably have the most first out of the monies in the solstice over the years. Like, I'm sure I have that record. I finished 4th in the solstice, I think 6 times. It's wild. So anyway, it is 9:36.
It's about time.
And it is time for me to go home.
It's about that time. Guys, we thank you so much for joining another episode of Bass and Me Radio Friday Night Shenanigans. Tonight we talked about treble hooks and why you need to change them on all of your baits or else you are missing fish. We talked about the Potomac. We talked about...
Keep a treble hook box in your boat.
We talked about the mental attitude of just bass fishing in general, the attitude you got to keep, and, a couple other things. And
do what you enjoy.
We will be back next Friday, maybe even a Tackle Talk Tuesday or a Wednesday. We'll see what happens.
We can do a remote tackle talk. Get Rob on.
So we appreciate you guys.